eyes on the teams that are continuing contest, or if we are going to see a couple of POI changes from some of those teams who are on the lesser side of things.
Yeah, I think that you need to be looking at the statistics, the percentages of can we still get to LAN with this contest happening? Because you might find yourself in the other groups having your drop spot free, and it is worth fighting in this particular scenario. However, if you are also contested in another group, which we have seen happening, then that's when you really need to start considering, okay, we should be moving, or we need to be changing our composition to benefit us in this contest. Because we have seen some teams contesting with a composition that maybe isn't all about fighting, is more about the late game, but they don't even get to the late game, and that's when Conduit starts to be added, a support legend maybe, I don't know, let's go something, maybe you need a Loba, for example, to really help you in that fight, if you feel like you're struggling from getting to one point to the other, if you're fighting up high, for example. So there's plenty of different considerations to make, and I feel like this is the week where they have to come into effect.
Пускай этот сайт пока что висит, но я чувствую, я не буду им пользоваться.
Можно не... Еще посмотрим, может кто-то на КТ слетит. Вдруг кошеры передумал.
А на БХ сканилка что? У нас есть сверху, снизу, сбоку и даже норспайт. Короче, с 4 сторон есть.
Угу. На каскадах есть, но там, походу, долго будут чилы. Ну, мы можем выйти и просто просканить эту хуйню. Понять, куда чилы двигаются.
Все планы по пизде пошли сразу же, игра только началась. Мы такие...
У нас еще крал со всех сторон, вообще скайпнул.
Один раз крутануться можно будет, если что, там турбики, или один раз синьку крутануть, и все, и погнали.
Плюс, реп. Ребят, начиная с феоболт, могу еще дать вам.
С нулевой на хавок упал.
Поехали.
Я тоже на хавок упал.
С нулевой на репитере и вольте.
Мунлайо.
Let's go.
Я репитер.
Я тоже репитер.
Мне ППХ нужна.
Вот, держи вот это, и ППХ у меня вот тут.
Вот кар.
Девятка. О, одного айтмака ношу пока с собой.
Кар или девятка?
Там девятка есть вот.
А где?
Скинул, короче, лайтмак. Я такая не использую.
Так, YouTube, вы живые?
Так, я делаю банку.
Да.
В кубочках тур.
Оповещение пришло.
Бля, мне тоже тубик надо. Но у меня 0.4 по моему матчу.
Ну, такое.
Да, вот 4 здесь скинул.
А что, ты не мог принести их?
Ну, могу принести, да.
Девятка вот тут есть.
Ну, это же просто время.
Женек,
Вот эти не открыли.
А, я, кстати, понимаю, почему на YouTube лайки не ставят. Там изначально чат открывается на весь экран.
Можешь мне армор крутнуть?
Да.
И вот так сердечки можно хуярить.
Банку забыл.
У меня репитер хавок есть. Че по зоне, ребят? Мысли есть какие-то?
Лайтмак есть. Девятка есть у кого-то? Надо будет прочекать просто и
я пинговал девятка, вот она вот тут, в кейсе. Над тобой.
На месте вижу.
Не, мне ничего не надо, ну типа надо,
Да, погнали,
энергомаг, ну как-то похуй.
Нам тоже энергомаг.
Погнали.
Жабка есть даже, мужики, победа.
Аврора не играет.
Да, у меня 2.8.
У меня один.
Дам тебе одну, у меня отличная. По пути вот поймаешь. Конечно, они
Тут не лутан еще.
Сколько репитер нажимак и арая?
Уф, да, энергомаг тоже надо.
Просто залазь канить. Блин, открыть.
Кашера умер.
Не на контесте в козе умер.
Самый долгий контест.
Ой, магазин нужен фиолетовый?
Нет.
Как ты думаешь, так долго лутались? Вышли поздно, пиздец.
1-2 могу дропнуть по-моему.
Да, я возьму. Мимо.
Дропнул. Нормально.
Мимо.
Заберите.
Мимо, маму я забрал.
Прям перед нами, ребят, крафтит сканер.
Барометр. Да.
Это барометр, да.
Вообще барометр.
Смотрите, если что, вот тут фри, ребят, вот тут на моей метке. Жабки у нас целых 2.
Бля, надо фабы ставить, если перелетать, походу. Перелетаем их сюда и на барометре полетим.
По правой хотим? Они тоже
Они
жабку
тоже жабку дают.
Еще по правой, полевой?
Челы на них полетели.
Направо,
Давай по правой, давай.
будут ебать просто.
С барометра то моя метка вверх, это заебись будет.
На сета кто-то был?
Туда у всех может прилететь. Понял?
Ну,
На сета не было, на сета не было, на сета не было. Подождите,
Уже
чуток меня вот здесь,
давай.
походите.
Нам надо скорее.
Вот тут склад был, если что.
Вы улетели.
Вот он, вот он, вот он.
Нет, это за другой. Если что, я вот
Это
про
тот,
это.
который
вот там.
на каскадах был, да, окей.
Да, это каскадники.
Чуть-чуть подождите меня на цету. Вместе пойдем.
Давай, да. Я тут лутаю.
Делай.
130 FPS.
Не лутаем сета. Эти проходят глубже. Еще жабку нашел.
Найс.
Че по плану? Дальше за ними идти или чем хотим?
Да, пошли, полетим. По дефолту нашему. Главное в опыне не сдохнуть, парню.
Если там типы
Слишком
сверху, куда
открыто
мы хотим
бежим.
упасть?
В ЛГ.
Энергомаг, слышь там?
У нас 3 турбика, да?
Да,
Я асфальтон.
Я с турбиком.
я тоже.
Должен быть скан хороший, чтобы челов не было в
То есть,
упоре.
послушайте, типов, птички нету.
Сага на бегу в руках.
Были тут.
Надо слева чекнуть.
Они улетели только что. Ну, не только что, ладно.
Никого не вижу. Ебаш. Ебаш жабу и смотрим за жопу. Ультанешь? Я последний полечу. Небольшим делаем.
Есть один. Двое.
Парни, я не смогу лететь.
Куда хотим?
Мне,
Тут-
мне
тут-
спину вышли.
Мне надо развернуться, слышь?
Разворачиваем.
Падайте в дом, на сюда.
Падаем. Тут фри у нас. Смог, дай себе ты еще слева раскрутить.
Да, я кинул.
Я на Фениксе.
Беру вверх. Эти жабку нашу берут, походу. Я сломал ее нахуй.
Найс.
Короче, мост фри, ребят, если что, вот тут.
Они еще жабку дали.
Охуеть,
Можем пострелять попробуем по первому? Может, мы...
Давай.
Не, мы не видим.
Сейчас они полетят, сейчас.
Мы не увидим в любом случае.
А, вот стоит. Вот летят.
Можем медленно
Который, два
пуститься,
первый?
Рейс. Слышишь?
Они на мост падают.
Окей.
Нет? Да, они на мост упали, ребят.
Какой мост? Справа?
Ну вот этот, лево.
Я
на
понял.
метку, смотри.
Лайфмак еще.
Вы птичек, пауков не хотите, да, подолбить? Зона вниз точно уйдет, ребят, точно. не на нас.
Опасненько. Ну да, понятно дело, все.
Мы можем их вызвать, все
На
правильно?
моем... в кругляшке был сквад. Барометр один сквад плюс второй крафтер. Там 2 сквада должно быть.
Мы можем, если что, подняться наверх и опять жабку нажать.
Слышите, еще можем как-то выкрутить по правой. Вот, допустим, вот в эту сторону. Поняли?
Угу.
Да, я их с
Надо-
пикселя поеду.
Ульты пока нету у меня.
Ну, мы можем крайними поиграть сейчас пока. Если что, улететь, у нас жаба есть.
Давай. Можем... Ну, в принципе, все. Отдыхаем. Возможно, файт какой-то сможем подсосать вот тут. Но это вряд ли, как будто бы
Вот
там...
здесь слева никого не вижу на этой, на траке. Ой, блядь, на люльке.
Перед нами, типа?
Да, слева, которая люлька.
Не, Люлька.
Ребят, смотрите, один лево, один право, я паучков запущу.
Я
Почищу.
смотрю...
Нормально.
Джурасик смотрю, второй дверь.
Там братишка не работает, да? Да, есть,
Буф.
есть, сюда.
Там рушится.
Стенку дал. Прыжок.
50, сломал. Ресай, если можешь.
Давай.
Паучков такого убить надо будет.
Смотрю. Они ушли.
Добей их.
Только сюда смотри, ребят, Джурасик еще может заставить.
С паучков могут присесть. Да.
Появился совух. Эти ушли, ребят, глубоко мост. Глубоко мост стоят.
Пиздец, подстава. Что звук?
Я вообще...
Вот это я понимаю. Вот
Я дверь открою,
знаете,
вижу, они, блядь, смотрят
был бы вот
туда-сюда.
такой же расслабон и получение удовольствия от
Я
того,
вообще
что
надо
ты играешь в
На этом
это.
доме вроде никого нету.
2х тысячу, блядь.
Да, там ушли типы перед нами. Стенок
Каком?
нету этих.
В этом доме никого? Да,
Стреляем?
перебежать надо.
Сейчас,
Слышите?
точно?
Да, точно.
Самое
Если никого
главное,
нет,
спокойствие на
Смоки
душе.
есть направо?
Да, конечно. Пошли. Я кину, если будет стрелять.
Что на стенке нету? Ага.
Если когда-нибудь появится
Зайти,
игра.
зайти.
Зайти.
Дал скан.
Я не успею.
Успеешь. Летим.
Зашел.
Смотри, дверь, вторую.
Хилить.
Давай.
Строил.
Дальнюю дверь смотрите аккуратно. У нас есть свап, если что.
Угу. Со стиком просто стою.
Если появится игра, где можно также сидеть, хавать
Ломает мою клюшку.
и не напрягаться,
Я с хаваком в руках стою. Дверь ломают.
Надо закрыть будет.
3 секунды. Все, я закрываю. На лестницу еще клюшку даю.
я перехожу.
Дал скан. Вдвоем смотрят. Втроем, да.
Сейчас, как он пройдет, можно будет их через балкон ебашить. Главное, сюда
тяжело.
побольше кушек.
Тяжело. Нас смотрят с этой стороны, когда.
Ну, с этой стороны мы
Тяжело.
можем пропекать, нет?
Ну
Я
нет. Там опен.
Стреляет.
Тыкнут пытается.
Спасибо, Сакаши. Вам тоже, ребят, приятного.
На второй вышел.
Трапезничают.
Если что, пока до кушки сюда закидываем.
Да.
Мне кажется, надо одну хорошую, чтобы вот под положить. Не наш, а под. А вторую уже кулдаунить в них кидать.
Не знаю, пусть они патроны просто тратят, пока их кидать.
Вот у
и всё.
меня
Я
вот так
просто
есть, чтобы
стресс
она вот так
заедаю.
положилась справа.
Алка, Хан, спасибо большое, ребят.
Она ульту схавала.
Одну.
Бля, Алка, ты понимаешь, что у тебя такой уникальный никнейм, который позволяет случайно другого зрителя назвать алкашом? Вот сначала читаешь твой никнейм Алка, а потом другой никнейм. И пиздец.
Кстати,
Так.
70? Очень много.
Банга.
Я хилюсь. Смотри,
Сама
куртки
банга
откинь,
еще
смотри жук.
Да, у меня
Смотрите
есть.
вдвоем, я хилюсь.
Я стопну.
Армор надо откидать, как будто бы.
Я замысь.
Он не
Герой
может сломать
третий.
мою. Все, я кинул нормально.
Новость. Зона ушла, ребят.
Угу.
Нам надо почекать, что происходит.
Тогда я в душу завидую.
Пробуем.
Потому что мы об друг друга убьемся. Этот скак подсосет нас, как будто бы.
Перед нами стоит. Дверь ломается с той стороны, тоже закрыть надо будет.
Стекло упал.
Ебать.
Манга, одно!
Ног.
Манга, ног.
Зайди обратно. Сзади.
Иду.
Не могу.
Не заходи.
Ты только кинул.
Слева один.
Вниз подойдите пока.
Доел, ребят, все гуд.
Я поднялся обратно.
Я здесь нормально.
Давай.
Я доел.
Я с тобой. На второй этап зайдем вместе?
Да, я с тобой.
Не, подожди. Не на балконе.
На втором они.
Окей, я хилюсь до пола. На пола
На
хилюсь.
лестнице, на
30
лестнице.
сек есть еще, не торопитесь.
Они на первом, ребят.
Вместе на первый зайдем?
У меня рево.
Похилитесь.
Я рейди.
Закрыли двери. Пошли вместе займем второй.
Осторожно, справа.
Ты с хилича можно
Справа будет
пикнуть.
стекать.
Под смог.
Вот,
Можем
вот
что-то
цель.
делать.
У меня нет дигитала.
Скан 6.
В зону надо.
Но надо их убить
Скан
быстренько
6.
и потом проходить, не?
А куда мы потом пойдем? Дал скан.
Они ушли.
Как будто
Или
бы
нет?
надо
Нами
скипнуть.
типа
но
Не,
не
под нами
надо.
все.
Куда хотим идти?
Ставите вниз куда-то.
Мы не висим, они
Сквад.
нас расстреляют. Ну пока мы здесь можем играть. Нет, не
У нас
можем.
тоже сквад, остров, сквад.
Больших 0 у меня.
У меня тоже 0.
Да, одну. Что делаем?
Я выдумаю, сейчас подожди, пока он идет. Вертикалки дают.
Капки.
Под этих челов, походу, пресенка будет под мост.
Могу сейчас выйти на
Повесите
меня,
карту
ребят.
можно.
Блядь.
Вышли.
Вышли. Щиду.
Уже все надо.
Я банку ем.
Даем, доигрывайся уже.
Давай вниз.
Вышел у меня, сейчас будет доедать мне.
Падает на вас.
Поправо.
Что они делают?
Дом 60 дал.
Они
Надо было
ебут.
хавать, парни. У нас еще было 30 сек, просто добить дуэс и все.
Я не против.
Пиздец.
Не суетитесь зоной.
LVH были по итогу.
Да, зона полушна, ебать.
Хуёво, 1 поинт так полутали.
Carrot top. Look outside. I'm getting shot from hide, I'm biting.
44 blue.
Chill here.
Yuki.
Chill here. Listen. Chill. Watch the building over me so I can scout. He's picking up.
Yeah, you help him, you can watch him behind.
Yeah, I need help.
I ulted you.
120 on cone.
I'm pushing. I knocked one. 1 HP cut, 1 HP cut. Almost full kill. Res, yeah. I got full res, yeah. I'm watching behind, you guys hold.
Give me armor.
I'm biting. I'm dead. He pushing you!
Yeah, next way. No. Give me knock. It means me. Give me knock. Oh no! Oh, nice try, bro. What are they doing?
Only one guy, is it? Fuck, dude.
Два
Fuck,
раза
how are they doing, bro?
показал.
Why are they pushing?
Sounded like a decent game, wasn't it?
We got
Good
6
game even?
16. Or like 16 plays, 6 here.
Ну ебать, у них 6 киллов зато.
40% worse.
Yeah, 40% worse off at the moment, sadly, losing 2 of their players, and we'll have to see whether Mandy can do some magic as the big man himself.
киберкотики
As the
живы.
team's starting to fall out of the sky as they try and take the evac tower, because this is now panic stations, alright? Everyone who was in the northern side of Barometer trying to move down to the
Мне
south.
это интересно, реально Клифф играть будет сейчас?
Squads wiped in this very moment. This is when you need your controller players to start popping off.
Everyone trying to force their way in now, and usually we talk about
Склад снизу еще под землей, но
where you can
не
coexist
показывают.
pretty comfortably, but when it pulls down to this southern
Вот он.
side, everyone has to move across open ground, and that's why you're seeing a lot of teams start to fall. We now have 14 squads left in the lobby. One of the teams we were talking about who had a good couple of weeks was ANC Outplay, but they're down to just 1 at the moment, make it 0. They will be eliminated. Mine go down as well. 40% worse fall as well, Dan. We are losing teams so quickly.
Yeah, I think we just lost 4 in the space of just 10 seconds. Passion get eliminated. Infinite also doing some great damage here, and it should be another squad getting wiped. And it will be confirmation, stay healthy, go down. 9 squads now remain. Can Infinite reset here is my real question. I like this attempt, just trying to dipsy doodle around the outside.
А
but
не,
might
раньше
not
Лон
work
за
out.
Иксаня. Проебались они с Кливом. Веха последний бой остается, отъезжает на 8-м месте. GMV с Тайлером, кстати, кайфом ХГ заняли, но надо дальше. Зона на мост уходит, и причем край зоны есть на самом последнем доме.
Possibility of winning this game in my eyes. 07, ALGS and Hungry. They're the 2 teams who are holding the prime spots. Aftermath with a shout as well on the east.
Можно с ХГ будет играть на том доме.
But now, with 10 seconds to go, Cold have to think about, do we try and go over this? Do we try and go through it? I don't think they have an evac tower available, so they're just going to have to try and fight their
7
way out
складов,
of
все
this one.
фуловые.
So a little bit of peace finally.
Ну там Гнатский этот дом и занял как раз. Пошла зона. Свиньи по краю зоны ротейтится. А Ксаня с отрядом решили файт поднять. Но им в спину может Свиньи выйти, кстати. Е6 будет обламывать весь этот файт. Хотя не, они каверят другой склад, который сверху на голову еще может упасть. Что, забили хуй, пошли в зону. Владики зажим с геймпада. Матафи в таверну. Вообще 0... Не обидно даже.
They were holding this position for quite some time, but E6 knew this could be a good spot. This could be a spot that could potentially win them the game. But ALGS and Hungry are stalling this one, which is going to be a frustrating scenario for E6, that's for sure. As elsewhere, there's plenty of action happening. E6 continue to push forward. Infinite.
Ой-ой-ой. 145. Как же больно. Ну ничего, новый сезон выйдет, Вигман на земле будет, понерфят. Слишком им баланс не ган.
Tyler for Cold, just last man standing, does some damage, goes out with a bang, and is able to take down a player with him as Cybercats now get eliminated. And we find ourselves in the last 3. It's E6, it's Aftermath, it's 07, and it's always difficult in this situation. Who do you push? Are you going to be more aggressive? Do you try and wait? Do you try and stall things out? You've got 30 seconds before the ring starts to really get aggressive, but that damage is just going to Now encourage the fight.
Ты не с мышки так играет?
I think I saw Swinny tweet something like Havoc balanced as he beamed someone off of a roof the other day. And here's the example. Swinny's found his gun, everyone. And let me tell you, it does damage. That is another clean wipe. Nobody goes down. The shield swaps are comfortable. And now it is
Гнаски против Свиньи остается. Найтса сейчас будут нокать. Нет разменов пока что, но сейчас должны. Последний к Свиньи остается. Гнаски. Давай.
Nice.
Shit, holding
Nice.
If we don't yeah, you guys had God spot just AFK.
Check my fucking, right now.
Not hella kills, but we won the game, alright? We take that.
You guys didn't see my horizon kill. You didn't see my horizon kill.
on the left, bro. I told you push on the left, good shit, let's go.
I beg you don't check my horizon kill in a second. It should be on my stream in a second. Oh, I double headshot him with Sentinel. It was beautiful.
Good shit, baby.
Good shit, alright, don't get.
Они реально АФК сидели, у них 2 килла, и потом последние 3 они в ласт серкле сделали. Хотя даже они все 5 киллов
That was a
сделали в
beautiful
последнем
win. You
круге.
definitely take that. You can't get kills.
Listen, if it's...
Алло.
Do you understand, boys?
Nah,
All good, good shit.
We take
Yo,
that.
Rendea with the 5, you're
first game.
crazy.
Nuts.
Rendea, you really don't have to gift
Good
anything.
zone prediction as well.
Thank you so much.
Ask you.
Thanks, bro. Thanks,
Did you
bro.
get?
Ну, с Свиньи все равно выше, потому что они киллов больше не стреляли. 21 поинт. 12 киллов, охудеть.
Yeah, nah, Amphi, I know those kind of games are boring, but when you're in God spot, you kind of just can't get active.
Guys, think about it this way. First game, 17 points, okay? Now we're
Хоть
gonna
7
play
поинтов, 2 килла
another game.
и
We
четвертое
just get
место.
minimum like 15 points
Альянсы
every lobby,
6.
bro, and we just drop a fucking banger.
Тут 1 поинт,
If I
да.
did DT, Donna could have got kills on the bridge. I just
Только вам без киллов, без поинтов
Nah, you've
сыграли.
done 500 damage to them. Alright, I posted code.
I'm in. Nice. Oh, CJ.
The CJ.
Good shit.
Yeah, they knocked the catalyst that you made 1 HP. You guys didn't notice for like 5 seconds.
didn't I say it straight away?
No, I did. I said they
no.
knocked one.
Ah.
I said they knocked one, and like the Horizon was playing super aggro. He kind of threw. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I insta called to go, insta called to like.
А,
push
это
him.
Вайвс был? Еб.
Like we got
А
that
окна
knock,
не
and then one was
Лифина, да?
pushing fucking Naski. That was beautiful. Well played.
Ну да, и пизда ему. Лефин пиздец заруинил.
That
By
game
the way,
felt
there
so
is a con
lackluster.
north pad in ASCII.
Okay.
ASCII here.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I was muted.
There's a con north pad and someone's landing Ferrari. So that's what the 3 teams Ferrari is. You get me now?
Да чё лагает так?
Dude, this game felt so like.
Yeah, it's because we didn't have to do anything. We
Game was
take
just
that though.
gifted. But that's one of those games where if we don't win the game, it's.
И чтобы вы понимали, они вдвоем тройку закрывают.
So it's a good game.
It's only 17 points. Can't get complacent.
Only one, yeah? Only one.
Yeah, 1 man left, bro, for full English. That is unfortunate.
Amphi got so active on the bridge. He won 81, 100'd the other 2. In 2 mags, in his flatline and R9 mag. In about like 5 seconds. And then he ran back.
Просто пули бы оставили.
You done so much damage and they still
Yeah,
won that. You
не
know
надо.
that.
Amphi, did you do damage on a catalyst underneath in the bridge?
Yeah, I 180'd one. I put 100 on.
Because
the other
I shot a catalyst with my sentinel, just 1 shot, and it was a kill.
two. Oh, that's probably the guy I 180'd.
Прошлая скорость тоже
Feels bad,
подходящая.
Amphi, because you had 0 kills this game.
The 2 people.
Некоторые наоборот
I 180
хотят.
people out.
Некоторые наоборот хотят, чтобы его понерфили, потому что он слишком универсален.
For the horizon kill? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's now. No, it's not now. It's not now. I don't
Stay
remember.
active though, Amphi. Alright, I like that. Just keep
Yes, sir.
Stay active.
Уже следующая катка началась, наверное. А, не, еще болтают.
It just sucks that everyone died. Like no one could even get to zone.
Котлетка топ,
The
внутри
thing about
шампиньонами
position was
немного.
we
Надо
didn't
было
really
еще
have
сыра
cover to
туда.
play on the outside, you know.
Hey, boy, JB. Love you, bud.
Like it was more
Yeah,
like
we had to
people were
play up.
looking
We had
down
to
us.
play up. Yeah.
Yeah, it was only towards the end where we could actually like come outside our building. Still though, better than last week. First game we started with a dub, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, they're already looking to fight it, bro. It's wraps. They're looking for this man already.
It felt like we weren't playing a tournament. You know what I mean?
Out, so they forced the bub now.
Yeah, that's probably just
You
'cause,
get
like,
those games where you just have those free wins, you know?
Yeah.
It's just one of those.
I feel like we're getting used to it as well. Is that like our fourth win? PL?
Third, right?
Third?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's us.
I don't think we won a game in
win.
the first one.
Yeah,
Okay, listen, we need to win 2 more games and we get 1 point extra.
15 seconds left on this cooldown.
Yep.
They're fucking. If Case winning E6 fight this after the bubble comes back.
I'll get another Red Bull.
What I say, bro? White armor shiv comes.
Nah, actually, it was JMW's team Amphi that you fucked, and they died. They died to Swinny.
I feel bad now.
You done, bro? Nasky
Yo, check now, check my stream now for the Sentinel. I think it's now. I'm pretty sure it's right now. No, it's in like 20 seconds. 20 seconds. After the evac situation. Huh?
Amphi peeked. Wait, was it out the air? Did you shoot someone out there?
You just not out of there, but it was beautiful.
Backside barometer, bro. It's pointing far, far, far.
The only thing we need to be careful because this team can peek.
It's a nice stream right now.
I mean, it's strictly armor dip.
He's not watching.
Nice is watching. He might see it. If he sees it, it goes crazy. I'm pretty sure it's right now. Yeah, it's look at this. Look at this. 126. He drops down. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Blue and he's only 100 off red now. Like,
Oh!
Nah, you double-headed it.
That's double-headed.
Ну это жестко было, да.
Ew.
holy fuck.
Ew.
126? How you done? And he got his KP too.
Вы, кстати, заметили, как они числа называют? 126. Ну, Hungry-то опускают.
Boys, let's keep it up, yeah?
Has the game started?
Yeah, we're in the
Starting now.
lobby.
I lock the
Keep it
fucking
keep it
turn
up.
off chat, everything, alright? Just keep winning.
На Зюсе есть крафт, мужички.
Казак, кстати, тоже волосы нормально так отрастил. Ну, они и в целом у него охуенно растут. Таких. Раньше ходил с 2 вигманами. До того, как в дроп добавили? За РД больше, чем за киберкотов. Кто-то решил. Я за всех одинаково. Всех хочу увидеть на лане. Любимая. Аврора не играет, потому что их группа сегодня не играет.
А что, наверное, всего один спас висит? Больше не катастится?
Походу, да.
Интересно.
Не любят контесты мужички. Я, может, попаду? Нормально.
Карта нет, да, у нас ресалку нашел.
Дигитал нашел.
Ебись. Тусенька. Поместил. Как поместил?
Пошел за синенькой.
Синий вот так.
Нас, не нас.
Надо за нас гонить, бро.
Бро, думаешь?
Да.
Бро, это вниз. Бро.
Да, надо занять вот эту штуку будет. Бегите вы туда оставайтесь, я забираю кар, рюкзак и вам.
Я домик свой летаю. Че, диги там нашел?
Наебись.
Куда хотим встать?
Три домика.
Окей.
Вот эти. Ладно, похуй на ревер, не буду выбрать.
Ебать, трахните меня, мой...
А чего вот это не забирают? Два бина.
Потому что мы даже не успели залутаться.
А, да?
Ну, я синьку пинганул, пошел вниз.
У меня есть
Какой,
дроп.
какой
Кто
хотел
едет на
кружок
тачке?
контестит? Я.
Мы все три стоим. Никого просто не пускать вообще.
В роботах уже есть.
Ну, типа лететь будут.
Тачку
Да,
нам
будут
подогнал.
лететь.
Уже летят.
Займи, 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 займи. Куда?
Право,
Один вот
левый
тут,
дом.
один. На кондуит в опане. Сама вот тут. Один.
Пошли со мной, пошли со мной. Он в опане, кракнул ее. Одно хп тут.
Смотрю. Я дал 50.
Нокнул ее.
Скандал.
Доел, все, медленно сыграем потом. Сейчас стойте по домикам, ребят. Потом мы схаваем.
Окей. Я иду забирать.
Роботы тоже файтятся, ребят.
Да можете ебать.
Еще прилетели.
Еще прилетели, куда?
Тём, на тебя, Тём.
У меня хорка внизу.
Хорка одно.
Ага, медленно. Да есть.
Еще склад упал.
Я доел ее. Инсайд, да, второй этаж пошли.
Хороший, душить это.
Я хилюсь,
скандал.
двери запри.
Да, я забираю.
Они убегают.
Нас дальнюю.
В опен убегают, ребят. Я понимаю, они в опен убегают, ребят.
Ебать смоки, все
Вон туда.
закрыли. Полутать.
В опане Ватсон последняя бежит.
Да. Не вижу. Все, ушли, забейте хуй.
Ага. Скан 9.
Дайте это начала. Ой, какой вкусный. Рецлку вызвали, нам нельзя
Скандал.
дать им резнуть.
Могу ультануть, там 2 склада в том доме.
Че он
Окей.
лапнул? Приятнее,
Спину
что ли?
стреляет.
Еще склад прилетает. Вот прилетел в опан. В опан снизу.
Кто обе двери залочил?
Не знаю.
На первом этаже залочь.
Иду. Закрыл.
Го в пиксель ставим самой на крышу. Тип справа,
Бегу.
идите ко мне. Вправо делаем слайд, он прям перед нами. 166.
Вот здесь дверь не закрытая будет нормально.
Кубку туда дай просто.
Сверху стоит.
Не, на самом деле, слышишь, лучше вот эту дверь закрой, а вот с этой стороны вряд ли придут. И чего, мне кажется.
Бля, я не уверен.
Ребят, слайд
Ну ладно,
глубокий,
похуй.
вот в эту угол, чтобы сразу доесть.
Ну,
Давай.
даже так же
Как это?
красиво.
Вправо.
Аккуратно в плане
Это
сверху.
дальше?
Раз, два, три.
Это красиво. Ну, для меня
Кого
красиво,
резнули?
когда прям овербуст.
Они резнули все-таки, не?
Да, резнули. Да похуй.
Или что это? Почему ты
Они
триггер
резнули,
отканял
да.
только? И еще падай, чел.
Снизу меня. В опане.
Не
Под
вижу.
домом. Хуёво ему.
Смочил тот дом пока.
Сейчас жаль.
Бопу нереально. Убегает направо, посмотрите его.
Пытаюсь. Не вижу. Видите, под сканом. Я сейчас справа пойму, могу перекусаться.
55. Блять, он одно. Его убили, походу.
Его убили, походу, да. Я еще попробую его лут принести.
Я его ебну.
Сейчас аккуратно, ребят. Я не с вами.
Ватсон слева.
Иду к вам. Третий дигитал принес, ребят. Доберись.
У меня есть. Тем бери.
Иду к вам.
Да, мидкита еще дроп.
Маленькие, большие, что-нибудь надо такое.
Вот 1-2.
Маленькие.
Маленьких на 400 штук скинул. У меня 2.10 у меня. Все, у нас фиолки. Пикаем только.
Да.
Когда надо.
Кондуит, справа банга, слева Ватсон.
Лайтов не то чтобы много.
Так вот надел.
Чего? Дискорд подлагивает, нет?
Да, да. Алло.
Блять.
Помогаем?
Да.
Чуть-чуть подлагивает.
Вернулась, не возвращается.
Нормально, у меня норм.
Потери 40%.
Где все? В Дискорде или?
В Дискорде я вижу.
Все, пропало.
Трое снизу. Зона походу прям нам в рот, ребят.
Возможно, да. Ну, фрага сформили, у меня один.
Один.
Ой. Ну, 2 фрага мы сделали, 2 фрага. Ну, я, считайте, одного не забрал на бомбе, не попал пули. И все.
Ребят, могли бы стоить бенгерную, как на первом делать?
Станьте один на третьем, один на первом. Как бы не все стоят. А, нет, хотя, блять, ладно, жук стоит там. Откуда? С той стороны?
Из другой.
А, там дуз, да?
Нет,
Походу, туда ушел.
Трио. Везде трио.
Как они резнуть дали, блять, что за хуйня?
Да, они умерли. Забей. Те, кто резнули. Это другой склад, который приносил сюда же.
У нас трио. Забейте.
Бля, ебуч из сервера Дискорда.
Типа, которые дуют, они сейчас его...
Дискорд. Никогда не понимал одного, как можно епашить в пикселях без сглаживания.
Мало начал.
Так, если сглаживание, тогда сливаются, так сказать,
Ломать будет, походу.
цвета. Наоборот, мыло на экране. Это же практически как резкость, четкость.
Что?
Еще кто-то приземлялся, по-моему, где-то.
А где у нас кубки лежат?
Ну, здесь одна и снизу одна.
Первый этаж 100% надо, ребят. Первый этаж
Да,
100%.
на первом этаже есть.
Как, мне кажется, на втором надо. У нас кубчик сколько всего? 2 можно тоже, да?
Две,
Один
да.
сверху, ребят, также уебывается. Можем, кстати, тоже пан сделать.
Да нам ничего не даст то, что пчела мы вдалеке нокнем. Нам...
В смысле, он перед нами. Доедим просто сразу.
Ну, давай, ладно.
Давай попробуем.
Он с репитером на верхнем этаже. Справа слайд вот в этот угол.
Да, я готов.
Раз, два, три. Что, зацельте его. С репитером сейчас пикнет.
Они ушли? Правильно.
Да, я нормально сижу.
Они вниз упали.
Лезет, все полезет.
Лезет, видите?
Угу. Только не двигайтесь.
Все, я отошел. Все, ска.
Че по банкам, норм все? Ты не фуловал?
1-5.
Да.
Книжку валяют еще, ребят. Я пока взял.
Эти наверх
Да.
крутили. Ну, казах вообще ничего не будет происходить, по идее. Ну, Алеки должны закрывать. Каршков здорово. Потом
Yeah.
как-нибудь покажешь свое красиво. Да, если бы.
Still, don't forget to play out of this LOS, out of this team LOS. Whatever happens. Yeah, like wall back maybe, like, you know, so we have more space to play.
He's walling straight to me and I'm taking 10 on angle.
I mean, I'll probably block off egg as well, so I'll wall like here.
Yeah.
We're safe from egg, by the way, nobody's picking us.
Yeah. They can't really peek either, they're gonna be both by all server.
Okay. These guys are getting shot, they're still there, okay, in the corner?
Yeah.
Gonna peek me soon.
They can't really peek, I'm just gonna smoke it because like they're lining the base, so you can see through it.
Yeah. I can literally still see through Akis, good smoke. Repeat that
Bang
smoke
out
if you can.
Get ready to 3-pit this if we can. We can take a drop. Yeah,
We have zone.
We have close map.
We don't need to do shit, to be honest.
We literally just need to hold. The only thing is effect. We need to swap full place with me. If you Because if they fight here, I want you to take the top rock and look down on them. That's all I need you to do.
Okay.
We're not full committing for anything. It's like if they fight, you just both of you need to take the rock and pressure them.
I'm here, I guess.
That's all you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will-
Just literally take the rock and pressure them.
Okay, I was holding here.
Yeah.
He's on top of rock. He fell.
Can't do it.
Epic, you do the thing I do now. If you give walls, you take the cannon angle.
Uh-huh.
But just make sure that they can't push us. Trade all this. That's literally our only threat. Or in people flying in.
Да, по-моему, фот. Да,
How far are they
блядь.
in? Oh, they're still pretty good.
Barely.
У них зона есть?
Zoom in. They're not even
Yeah, they might get fucked by the left
Если
side.
будет пиздато вот тут играть, но у нас вот ебать файтов. В теории у нас все неплохо. Мы идем последним, я в себя слышу.
У кого?
Уже не просто. А, вот ты видишь?
Ну, что поделать, сейчас ничего не сделаешь.
Что мы просто стеной кроем и банги улиц.
Вот так вот есть.
Yeah, Kraber's in the
Ты
left
жук
side.
вылетел, что ли?
Не крути сейчас.
It's about to close, that's when people do things. Get ready, just... We already talked about the threats, this is...
Ну, маленькие. Медкит, ребят. Fire. Вот
Очнулся.
такая хуйня еще есть.
Фаер доберу.
Ulti the Marcus. Bangalore though.
Yeah, if somebody buys on us, I'm just gonna ult immediately before they even know.
А, нет, не заберу. Забери маленькую,
I'm gonna
если
keep
стакай.
eyes on southwest until it closes.
Yeah, and don't forget to wall our back off, UK. If someone lands on us.
Yeah. I'll roll away.
Wingman.
У нас, если что, перед нами есть контейнер вот с этой стороны.
Хуя,
Никого что-то делать
эффекты
можно.
интересно,
И
как это
целиться.
откроется.
No nades. Give me arc I guess. now.
Единственное, одну дверь нам нужно будет контролить, вот
Да,
этой,
машину
которая
далеко
выход.
я поставил, сука, не успел, то что прилетело. Цели.
Надо.
Женщину подавление надо включить. Я слышу игру, все слышу. Тут
Я не
еще
слышу.
камень в теории будет в будущем.
Угу. Там есть игроки. Мы играем.
Окей, хуевенько.
Так, зона может краем на нас идти.
Ну, она вверх может прижаться, да, в теории. Но мне кажется, на ту сторону. Мы сейчас по опану побежим. Как в прошлом, помнишь?
Угу.
Нам надо идти за кем-то. Можем слышать АФК просто стать? Мега АФК.
Мега АФК встал. Вень, тут дверь надо подпереть.
А, у меня зона нет на третьем, да?
Ладно, я тут дверь подпер.
Я мега хочу понять, где я должен эту хуйню выключить. Почему дав?
Может, они уйдут, зафайтятся, мы выйдем, пузаем. У этих зона будет.
А, вот так вот.
Алло. Тебя не слышно практически.
Тебе надо как-то почекать, слышишь?
А, подожди, или мы можем его громче сделать?
Я его громче сделаю, Женя ничего не трогай. Короче,
Алло.
нормально.
Так,
Где мы
скажи.
хотим играть?
Алло.
Мгм.
Ну, блин, я не сделал.
Смотри, сейчас Ватсон куда-то пойдут, даю скан.
Смотри, вот на этих камнях можно играть в теории.
Да, маленькие
Но
играют.
там склад. Вот тут и стоит, прям в центре.
Ебать,
Смотри,
Юки вылетел.
можем поделить стенкой туда,
Да.
чуть-чуть с таймингом. И стоять в начале стены, и вот мою желтую метку.
Шок-контент. Юки ливнул прямо во время турнира. Контракт закончился.
Склад делает,
Дал
думаю.
скан. Стоят до сих пор, отдыхают.
Дропсы? Нет.
Все, сканом
Так
не будет
дропсов и
по
в
зону.
целом нет же.
Там есть... Нужно, чтобы он смотрел.
Какие дропсы
просто
сейчас?
Есть такой момент.
Ну, охуенно, чё.
Подожди, дай-ка я позырю.
На минималках
Там
играть.
чуть попозже. Посмотрю, куда лево
Игра
скажешь.
фадрочер.
Не получай дэмэдж.
Да,
Сколько не
игра
питался,
Мы
там
можем
тихо,
вот,
как
мы можем вот
пиксель.
сюда выйти и там
Как
стоять,
хочешь,
если
как
что.
хочешь. Что думаешь?
Не, ну можно
Дал
вот.
скан.
Го вместе
Все
с
еще не
замкой.
ушли,
После
нас
гранаты.
смотрят.
После гранаты просто вылетим, станем на
У меня нет
если что,
скидок
смог дам.
кстати.
Вылетели. Сейчас вышел. Зацельте дверь еще.
Замедлила.
Я смог тогда дал. Или банку большую.
Нихуя
Я
боль.
тоже.
Я
Нормально,
стену
нормально,
отдал
изи.
влево.
Блять, зачем? Нам туда надо. Пошли туда тогда, быстрее.
Ага.
Пошли. У
Можно
нас там нет
пройти,
зоны,
они не
нет
смотрят,
зоны,
они
нет зоны.
Они не смотрят, ребят.
Да,
можем идти.
пробегайся. Я не даю смоки, вот этих надо будет пикнуть.
Даю две
Я
хаешки.
Я ульту отдал. Передо мной.
Меня в спину убили, все.
Ката 100, моя ульта.
Вдвоем, живите просто.
Тупу.
Ну, они на пьюшке летают.
Да я не могу ничего, блядь, встану. блядь.
Одно хп.
Не могу.
Нокну одного, если что.
Окей.
Я нок, сверху
тобой.
шел.
Я, ну,
собственно, да.
Маки раньше, наверное, был. И Юки вернулся, прикиньте.
Cracked one.
Вовремя.
Yeah, loot quick, loot quick. Yuki, watch behind.
I'm watching behind.
Hack his look, hack his look. Blood one. Cracked him. Yeah, look, hack his look. Skills, hack his skills.
У эффекта микрофон громкий.
You got cleared. Hack is dead. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Okay.
Coming.
I don't have ulti, okay? It's fine, just recall. Coming, I guess.
Here. It's still two teams. Team on my ping and one on the left. They're fighting here. Yuki, watch behind. In knockdown. Dead. Team armory.
Outside armory.
I'm loading any heavy.
I want you back.
No heavy.
I got heavy, I'm good. Cut in the open, cut. 40, she walled. They're gonna fight there. Top three, last two teams. Last team. I'm walking up, taking space.
Move up. Smoke it right side. Move up. They're shooting me through. I got a battle.
Falcon left.
I got rock. Left side. Cut one.
Okay, I'm looking. No, I'm not.
Playing you.
On the left.
Harassing
Как
that.
же он ебет, блядь.
Let's get it, baby, let's go.
Ебанутый нахуй.
Keep it up, boys. Good shit, I fucking love this energy. Keep it up.
Good shit. Good fucking micro calls as well there. I didn't do shit. You're getting action. Let's go. Dude, holy shit.
Both of you guys are just shooting everything left, and then you would just say, watch right, Yuki, watch right. I'm like, there's nothing right.
That's the only threat, though, you know? That's why I'm telling you to watch that. That's the only threat there.
Yeah. I know. The only threat was the fucking disconnect. Jesus Christ. No.
You fucking calling it up in left. Like, I didn't look at the zone at all. Good shit, I guess.
Good job. Yeah, I didn't. I honestly almost missed that. I was watching the nuts fight, and then I literally see at the corner of my eye they were wrapping next to the edge of the zone. I was like, what the fuck? They're running in the open. Oh my god.
Well fucking played, boys. Good macro and everything. People.
Happens afterwards, is it going to be a downward spiral or an upward trend for Alliance? But right now all they can do is get points whilst they have him, and as you say, it was an impressive game where they held the northern zone. And similarly to match 1, when I was speaking about how good Alliance are at making themselves big, pressuring teams, not allowing teams to push them too easily, that was a perfect example through that entire
Такой уже не уважаю, но он
everyone
хорош.
at bay, kept
В плане
everyone at arm's length,
с геймпадом.
no one got close enough to them, and then it was just about finishing off the pieces at the end.
Well, I'm gonna let you take 2 minutes just to catch your
Дэми,
breath,
здорово.
because you've just been giving
Нормально.
the beans and you need to just rest those vocal cords for a few seconds.
Главное, чтобы завтра все хорошо было.
To discuss what we just saw in game number 2. Stella, are you there? Are you here? Are you ready to have a little chat?
Here. I was gonna say you were way too nice. First of all, I thought we were kicking him because he mistook Mirage for Horizon. But anyways, so not lingering on that. That last match was incredible. I mean, Alliance was able to get early rotations and they were able to have supreme positioning in the end. It was really sad to see E6 just come back and then finally get taken out kind of early. But it's really funny to see how teams always end up clashing super hard at around round 5. So it's been really interesting to see everyone survive really well, avoid fights where they can. But then, of course, there's an all-out battle royale at the very end.
I think one team to actually, it's very interesting that zone to highlight the difference
Присадка волос чипсики.
where a zone is ending, having prio to that zone and having to rotate from the complete other side of the map. And we saw that from Alliance and E6, right? E6 had to come right from the southern side of the zone. They did a great job. They fought their way in. And I think you do not expect to win that game. And you heard it in the comms, right? They hit the evac tower, they landed, they died, but Swinny wasn't angry, he wasn't mad about it. He was like, that is what it is. We got good KP, we got some placement points. And after our monster game 1, we're pretty happy with that. Whereas Alliance, they had really good prio. They had ring console, they knew where their second zone was going. They had a little bit more information than the teams around them, which allows them to hit an early rotate and get into a position to hold down for the long game. But also want to give a shout out to Aimbot, by the way, with that wingman. He was a one-man army in the center of the smoke and the carnage and the cat cues and all of that. He wasn't bothered about that. He was bothered about headshots, and he was hitting a few of them.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up the point about the comms and how the team leader was like, no, it's okay. Obviously he wasn't going to win a 1v2 when everyone else was fully armored. So I love that there was that positivity. It's okay, game 2. Go again, you know, and that mindset is so important. And also, I want to point out how Alliance used their Cat, Horizon, and Bangalore perfectly in the last fight. I mean, Alliance's effect, he's so good at repositioning with Horizon, especially over the cat walls. It is a perfect combination. But
Свиньи все равно на первом месте остается.
Debates on whether or not we want
А, они вторые были?
Cat, or if you want to use Conduit instead. But let's
А, второе это в
look
этом.
at the results after that match. And
11 поинтов. 9 киллов, да ебать. Чё они творят? 21 килл за 2 игры, пиздец. И это с учетом, что они заняли 9-е, да? 9-е место. Жесть. Вот вам геймпаде. Казах. 15-й, коты 13-й.
Yeah, even though they were in 9th, they did have 9 kills, which is incredible. And we do see here a lot of the teams that we saw playing a little bit better. ANCL players actually in 15th now, and with full English, we did see them kind of struggling to get into circle, which is why when you bring up the importance of having ring console access, it's so important. So yeah, hopefully these teams are able to get it back together for game number 3, the last game on Stormpoint. And do you remember the stats that we brought up with the teams that were more consistently successful on Stormpoint?
LVH was certainly one of them, and LVH have been a little bit quieter today on Stormpoint. They did have that elongated fight with 40% worse earlier on today, but look at the stats from Alliance in that last game. I mean, Effect, Dan Gaskin modeling his hair on, of course, Effect's haircut, as he will deny it, but he's told me in private, and I'm exposing to the world that that's what he's trying to do. He wants to be the guy to replace Yuki, and he thinks that's the best way, to pretend he's Effect.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, no, with Effect being able to rotate... Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Star. I just noticed that he dropped 2k damage in that game, Effect.
Yeah.
We need to highlight that. That's ridiculous.
I was gonna bring up the fact that he uses Horizon to get a better angle to help his teammates. He does a lot of the damage. It's because he's able to help his team with Crossfire, and it's incredible. So we are looking at the results so far, and Element 6 is on top with 21 total kills, which, I mean, above second place from Alliance, 14. That's a pretty big jump in points.
Yeah, I mean, those two are pulling away a little bit at the moment. August and Hungary tied in 3rd and 4th. You can see just the kills, maybe the difference between, the placement points, the difference between the two, but points pretty much tied up. Down at the other end though, Full English, who had a pretty good previous game day, they did struggle when these two groups went up against each other the first time, and it seems to be the case once again. But Vamo qadRaT, their move from the wall towards North Pad is not working for them. I mean, it's tough to see. There's only one more game left on Stormpoint, so you might as well try it once more before going back to the drawing board, but something needs to change for them, and it needs to change now.
Yeah, listen, for the next match, I want E6 to win because they were robbed in the first game. But also, I mean, this would be a great way for Alliance to round out their Stormpoint games. And also, it is the 5th anniversary of Apex Legends. So what a great way to go out, right? 2 wins on Stormpoint? I'm just saying. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break before we get into the last game on Stormpoint.
Аврора в Сербии. 10 февраля играть будут. Они в С-группе, а сейчас АБ играет. Есть свои фавориты для СНГ сцены. Как всегда было. Зачем она те? За лысины перекрыть. В Эмиратах жить дорого, как менталитет. Откуда мне знать?
Game 3 is just around the corner. Danny Gaskin, that shirt is magnificent, by the way. I will ask you after the show where you got that one from, because I might get one in a different color.
This
kind of
might be
thinner corduroy, this one, than yours.
Honestly, I think it might fit you. It's like one of those oversized ones. So it will probably look really tight on you, but it might be one of the few bits of clothing we could actually share.
To say, oh, I've put on a bit of mass, I've been working.
No,
I might fit you.
I'm saying you're big. No, I'm saying I'm small. It's oversized for me, but it'd be good for you. That's what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Well, there's two teams who seem to be separating themselves a little bit in these first two games, and it's going to be the two teams who, of course, at the top of the leaderboards. Alliance, though, a return to form and a welcome one. I think, Dan, very important for them just to maybe play with a little bit of a carefree attitude, a little bit more comfort, I would say. And speaking of comfort, I've got to say, Effect back on Horizon. I've been waiting for this for a little bit of time as well, because he looks like he's just so much more comfortable playing Horizon than any other legend that he's been playing in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing more Horizons as well on Stormpoint, considering how important she can be and the differences that she can
Что-то
make.
перерывы такие долгие, а карты
Those height differences that are sometimes
всего лишь две сыграли.
Not just that, you can see in those fights and the way that Effect uses them, you can get out of a fight quickly.
Обычно такие задержки на смену карт.
The movement that you're available to have as well. I think having the right player on Horizon can be the difference maker in a lot of 3v3s. Not to mention, we're not even talking about her kit and the black hole and the differences that that can make as well in any sort of engagement. So I think it's great to see Effect playing it. Seems to be very comfortable with 2k damage. I mean, you know he's comfortable, right? Like, that's just ridiculous, that amount of damage. And the fact that he went down. Remember, he got picked back up at one point. Like, it's crazy, like, that we see that these teams are being able to find new ways to put people back on their comfort picks so that they can output damage like that.
Yeah, I think one thing that's always overlooked a little bit in Horizon as well is how it counters a lot of the abilities of other characters as well. You know, you see the Rolling Thunder coming from Bangalore, Q over the top of it. Dark Veils, Q over the top of it. If you time it well and you get a little bit of damage yourself. So Horizon certainly, in my personal opinion, I think is a must pick at the moment for a lot of teams. And even though there's been some experimentation away, it's always going to have...
Вроде не за лысину, но все равно желаю, чтобы операция прошла успешно.
And he seems to be putting in some pretty good performances so far. And we're also seeing a little bit more Bloodhound start to come back into things. And I've got a little bit of theory crafting on this.
Один из минусов, у меня волосы тонкие, и, скорее всего, из-за этого пересадка будет заметна.
On why and perhaps this might work in this meta and all that kind of stuff. And we have seen a little bit of a drop in ring console spawn rates across a lot of POIs, which we saw has affected a few of the games in previous game weeks where teams have maybe made a bad read on zone and everyone else follows the traffic. And then we have like one team is sitting there going, hey, cool, we got zone. Like, wonderful. And I think the ability to hit survey beacons as well on your way to zone is going to give you a lot of information on where you can plan your rotate and take a more of an isolated fight, right? Instead of just relying on a ring console. And then you add in the fact that Bloodhound's one of the best fighting characters in the game. You can hit the scans, you can hit the ultimate, and you're going to be extremely effective in those engagements. I think it's something that people are starting to think a little bit more on and how to counteract maybe ring console spawns dropping off a little bit and thinking, hey, what else is available can we use to give ourselves access to some of these zones?
Yeah, I think that Bloodhound and Crypto, the only two meta characters that we have right now that can hit the survey beacons, so that's why they're the two that people are kind of dipping into. More so Bloodhound, because I feel like it is going to help those teams who are playing in that way, because it is slightly more of an aggressive manner, because you aren't going to be able to play zone straight away. You are going to be playing through certain POIs, and Crypto maybe not going to help out as much in that situation. You have to play a very different style, so I think it's great. And especially for a team like E6, for example, who have been phenomenal at fighting, adding that Bloodhound, giving them the ability to get those scans, get that extra information, but then also being able to get the survey beacons on their way, means they're going to be in a position where they know where everyone else is, and if they feel like space is not available in the zone, and they want to just go for kills, they also get that information. They also
Играешь на синсе, все удобно, и потом какой-то дискомфорт, чуть больше, чуть меньше надо. Чтобы специально разнообразие, чтобы
the way back in, and I'm very excited to see more of it.
Мозг не деградировал за однообразие. 1600 DP. По команде Sense можете узнать настройки. Сейчас чуть меньше хочется. 69 будто бы.
There it is, it's just started up. So we'll be getting into it in just a few moments' time. Dan's been holding off because, as we all know, everybody, casters start the game in esports. Dan's been holding off. Why would you do that to us?
Hold on, I'll press the button and we'll go. All right, everyone's in the lobby. They're starting to pick their compositions, and we'll have to see whether we start to see more horizons as we go in, because I think that NA have definitely adapted to that quicker than EMEA. For some reason, EMEA like to stick to their truths a little bit with some of their composition choices. NA, it seems to be at least 50% plus on Horizon, whereas a lot less here in EMEA. And
это охренеть, как долго они
I've always
стартуют.
found interesting, not just EMEA, not just NA, APAC as well. We start to see such different kind of approaches to the game, and then you get to LAN, where all those different approaches start to be just fudged together, and suddenly some work, some don't, some that didn't work now work, and it's why all these different regions coming together makes LAN so exciting for me.
It certainly is what everyone's playing for, right? And like I mentioned at the start of the show, at the top of the show, we are over a third of the way through now with 2 games under our belt. And the third game is just around the corner. You can see, speaking of compositions, what everyone is going to be picking. And I got to say, Bloodhound 6 seems like a match made in heaven for me. And that's exactly what they are going to be running once again here. Excuse me as I catch my breath, but Cold I want to talk about as well, because I've been in some pretty good positions so far in these first 2 games, Dan, but just not being able to execute on those really important kind of top 8, top 7 positions where you can turn that into a win.
Yeah, and Cold at the moment, they come into this match week on 18 points in 17th position. So they're one of these teams that are on the bubble. Right, one of these teams that are kind of okay and they can perform like averagely and consistent across the board. They don't need anything too big, too dramatic, but you do still have to stay ahead of the race. Speaking of staying ahead of the race, it's another race to Northpad, and we get our contest yet again. Remember, qadRaT are 2-0 down here. They have not been able to win this contest. Last time they just ran away, but they still got pummeled down. So in my eyes, I still take that as a loss, but I guess some would see it as just a 1-0 at the moment.
Yeah, it was an opportunity, really. I think that the zone made it maybe a little bit easier for them to leave, because they were like, hey, we might be able to get a pro position here, and we might just have got enough weapons to do a little bit of poke damage and last the end game, but it just wasn't to be for them. And qadRaT, don't know if they're going to run this time and they're just going to steal the loot like they did previously, but mind, they don't look like they're too worried about fighting it, or maybe the threat of a fight. They do have that player up on the extreme height on the kind of crane arm, the bridge here, where you can kind of give the information of what's about to happen, and from that, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more quiet. A few shots going to go down, a little bit of damage is going to be exchanged, but nothing too worrying. We're going to Stormcatcher zone, everybody. It's looking like we might be pointing either Stormcatcher or down towards the cannon just below.
А чё Кашера ушел? Они обычно с драконами контестились.
I mean, Mind are technically performing better than Red Dragon at the moment. They've got more points. They have been a lot more successful. They're all around the same kind of area. They've all been struggling a little bit. They're around 20th position in the overalls, but clearly VQ saw something and felt like Northpad was going to be a better position for them to try and take off of Mind rather than continuing the fight against Red Dragon. But I guess it comes down to what we were talking about at the top of the show, right? If it's not working, go somewhere else. So that's what VQ are trying here, and sadly it hasn't really worked out so far at Northpad either. But remember, VQ have been through so many team changes now, right? What qadRaT was trying to do with the Brazilian players, with the South American players, bringing them over, starting this new team, has come to an end. So now they're going back to post-kill, and this is a new start, a new beginning, so there's going to be a lot of learning curve coming through.
We've got a revved up Rampage, and I'll tell you what, with this triple swing, it can do so much damage! Ow! Oh, I felt that one in my bones. I don't know about you. There's even more damage coming in as well, and qadRaT, unfortunately, it is going to be good night and sweet dreams once again by the looks of things. One does go down for Mine, but that is going to be sucked in and kissed on the forehead as they're sent to bed, Dan. That is 3.
Кстати, вот с Диджиталом интересно, на решке останется он или нет? Пистолет-пулемет типа считает. Red Dragons. Командный центр пойдут. Это лутаются, зона тоже рядом.
Although I say that, Alliance actually are going to be staying at Lightning. They're more than happy at just holding this northern choke, it would seem. And then all the
Passion
southern teams are
смотрят,
gonna be
видимо,
starting to move their way as
за
well.
ними.
At Coastal Camp, there was a ring console for 40% worse, but they have to go through Pylon, which isn't going to be fun because 2R1C are going to be waiting for them.
Yeah, 2R1C sat on height with a crypto as well, so they're going to have the cameras in the sky droning around and letting them know exactly where 40% worse are. However, they can be forced off height, of course, by the Gibby ult, so we'll have to see if Mandy can have a little bit of an effect on that one. But looking elsewhere as we swing our way around the map to a little bit more southern from the northern side of things where we started looking today. We're going to go back to 40% worse in and around Pylon and see if they can win this fight. Shiv, luckily for him, has a little armor swap poking about. And he has a Sentinel. And I tell you what, one shot with this and a headshot, this man can do damage.
Speaking of 40%, it's a 40%
Pixel здорово.
rate for Horizon in this match, so it has gone up a little bit, and we are trending towards that 50% plus mark that I was talking about in North America, but here in EMEA, just slightly under, but still, people starting to see the value of a Horizon on Stormpoint and what she can add to a team. Now, 07 fighting through smokes and anything that also might prevent them, but it's a Watson team they're going up against. Only 3 Watsons in the lobby right now.
Yeah, Watson again, I think is one of those legends we're going to see picked up a little bit now that it doesn't be healing enemies through walls. It gives you a little bit more consistency on areas that you can hold and how you can play around that pylon, but they are going to be able to pick up some pretty easy kills, and holding down this staircase for the end game is going to be a very, very good place to be. Look what's happening above them, though, in the rope shaft, shall we call it? A little bit of a question.
Как тебе будущее обновление?
It is what it is.
Да, неплохо. Заебись, что так много изменений.
I mean, if you said it, I would know where you were talking about. So I think it's a call out that definitely works. As Stay Healthy are staying healthy at the moment.
Будет чем заняться.
And they're just pressing themselves against anyone that is starting to arrive. And I think this is good. I think when you have a position that you can work with and you feel like it's going to be a comfortable spot, you need to start pushing people back. You need to make and take as much space as possible. And yes, you can do that with certain legends, like a Watson, for example. You can fence areas off. But when you have a composition that doesn't allow that, then you need to be using your guns to do the same thing.
07 feeling a little bit fruity in this because they've got a wingman. Damage comes in, but not good enough. This is a very aggressive push.
Балансный ган. Ничего не скажешь. 150.
Give up the staircase. They win the fight, but they do have one player finished. So Amphi is going to be down. Now, can they get him back in? As again, looking for the third party, but not willing to overextend, is going to be full English, and they're in a good spot for the end.
Это ж, наверное, по скорости, как Мозамбик с фиолетовым болтом. Вигман, да?
Have the Watson and are one of those teams with a composition with Watson in to maybe help them hold this push, but there's been a few fights where they just seem to be rolled a little bit, and unfortunately, Triple M and K can cause that.
Yeah, and 30th position at the moment for Full English, so they're in a pretty good spot. They had a rough week 1, but started to pick things up in their second match day, and they're looking to try and continue with that consistency to stay in the top 20. We're seeing a lot of Havocs. I mean, probably the main reason for that turbocharger is in the crafter, so not only is it fantastic when you have the turbocharger, but if you can guarantee a turbocharger every game, why wouldn't you pick up that Havoc? As for getting teammates back in, we don't have the respawn beacon available. The mobile resi is not going to be in the crafter, so it is about finding one on the floor. Case when he has one, by the way, as E6 start to press their advantage here.
And here is the Bloodhound again, trying to force the fight, right? The smokes not going to be half as effective as they previously were. E6 is going to take this space pretty comfortably, to be honest, and I think just popping that Bloodhound ultimate just allows them to do so. It forces that team back, so I think they're going to be pretty comfortable here. They're not going to have to do too much. Now they just control this space, and
МСС берут мувменты. Сомневаюсь. Ну, конфиги убрали. На геймпадах тоже. На плойке 120 FPS.
That is a zone pool we haven't seen for quite some time.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to start
Red Dragon
even further north, and that's going to be great news for Passion and Outplayed. But for
Майнд
teams
могут
like
прийти
E6,
под них.
like Stay Healthy, who are on that southern side, they're going to have to then take high ground off of those other teams.
Им бы ловушки убрать, чтобы слышно не было.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, right? They're going to have to wait for this zone pool to come through before they get that information, and then they're going to have to play around it. And by that time, teams might have already taken the spots off of you. So we'll have to see how that one plays out as we get further into round 3, but for now, still, Zone 2 is 40% worse, still going through Pylon here, and this is what we were concerned about, right?
Да, Аврора играть будет 10-го.
40% worse, almost in their own mini-game at the moment. Just a straight TDM on the edge of where the zone is going to be going. And 2R1C understandably, are just thinking, hey, this might be free KP for us, but they're going to have to rotate away at some point as well. And this can be a frustration sometimes, like 40% worse, thinking, why don't you just rotate? Like, why are you holding this for so long? Why don't you try and progress towards where the zone is going so that you don't have to run into 7 teams a little bit later on? But your 2R1C, you're thinking, hey, we have the ultimate high ground here. This should be easy KP for us, and when we get it, then we can move with even more loot.
But I spoke about 2R1C's consistency throughout the match week so far, and they are a team who like to take fights, like to get KP, and even though they haven't had much winning success, they haven't had a win yet, I don't think, they are a team who just is able to pick fights, win fights, and then move and progress. And I tell you what, if you're finding consistent points by doing that, then by all means, go for it. Oh, look, that's a big counter.
А надо было?
That is the counter of all
Надо.
counters, and now the cannon is going to send Mandy and the Gibby in the skies, but unfortunately he's going to be taking a little nap. But when he lands, hopefully there might be some smelling salts for them to pick him back up. Look at this!
Они доедать летят.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Those 2 rats and 1 controller who are looking to land and looking to cause problems.
Should be an easy, comfortable
А нахуй. Первый проебан. Размен хвостовый остался. А зачем так в открытую прям? Бля.
Just about. 40% worse certainly made it difficult, but 2R1C will be able to survive. And these are the kills I was talking about. They pick up some KP, and actually, with the way that this zone's playing.
In our tower, when I rest you.
I'm just gonna
run away.
give me a break, to like, I'm gonna be back soon.
Yeah, take it. It's fine, it's fine.
Что-то случилось?
No, cancel. You win that zone.
No. Yeah.
No, man. Fuck.
I think we take it back again. I think also think one of you guys should drop me your armor, so I'm 100 HP when we're fighting.
Yeah. I ran away. Okay, I'm resting, sure. Go for it. I'll kill them. Yeah, they're pushing. They're taking it. They're putting out stars. Yeah,
I'm taking it back again, actually. Oh, okay.
Get this. Okay, we're winning.
Let's go back.
No. Get one. Cancel. You win that zone. No.
Yeah.
No, man. Fuck.
I think.
Там как-то слишком быстро, и никто и не заколил, он мог сам, например, так же.
Teams are up on the height, I think, and one team outside, which is going to be ANC outplayed, who are just waiting for any damage to be done. This is the ultimate third-party opportunity for them. They also have a DG on the wingman, which we've already said, wingman equals problem. But LVH trying to stall this, trying to fight their way out. They will be safe in this little corner. Through now onto this door. Might be their exit, but there's Watson fences there, and it's going to slow them down even more.
It's one of those things, isn't it?
Они наверху чили, ничего не
One of
сделал.
the 3 Watson teams in the lobby. Of course we have, and you start to think, all right, how do we get out of this? You look at your utility. What have you got available? Do you have grenades? Are you going to be able to burst out together? Do you have to use just pure raw damage?
А у них шар есть.
That will be made and will be
Шар
spoken about, and it has to be
шар вроде может.
relatively soon. I guess there's not an immediate rush. You can wait for other teams to potentially turn up and help you, which might just be happening here.
Also, just got to wait and maybe see if you can get a few abilities back to help you on this rotate, right? I think the catwall's at 50% if I wasn't mistaken there, but 50 seconds left on zone. Are they going to be able to get that back in time? Do they have an ult excel with the backpack just to speed that process up?
We can go inside some kitchen. What do you think?
They've lost one, like you mentioned. They've lost 2, and now this is the opportunity. They can seize it here, LVH, and get out of this door. They have to take this space.
Patience is a virtue. Sometimes it really does pay off in Apex Legends. Just to wait that extra 10 seconds to see what happens. Don't rush a decision. The zone isn't going to be too much of a problem right now for them either, because it has pulled north, as we saw, and they will be able to survive here for just that little while longer. And LVH can see that. They are fine and dandy, and they can reside here for quite some time.
LVH finally leave, and they will be safe. They now have this space to play as well. Some nice hand glitches, and all the other teams. Let's keep in mind, by the way, LVH, who have put themselves into a position that you quite rightly said is a great one if you can leave as one of the last teams from Command Center. Everybody else who had bet on Stormcatcher, maybe that cannon, they've got to move. They're going to have to shift towards where Passion are, right in the center of zone. So if they could just live here, LVH, they could survive. They will be in a great spot for end zone.
Yeah, if we can take a look at the map when the action subsides, Passion are in dead center zone in the one building that is going to be in the circle as well, and that's where everyone is going to start to naturally progress towards. So even though Passion hold this spot, they will have to hold it very tightly. Now at the moment, LBH, they're on the hunt. They smell a couple of players, and it is going to be the remainder of mine, and it looks like it's going to be the end of their day.
That will be them falling. 12 squads now.
Было быстро.
LVH having stalled out their exit from
Импадеры
command, now find themselves in a commanding position themselves. They have complete control over the northern side of this zone. ANC outplayed are going to have to rotate into them from the end of the zipline building themselves, but now you're seeing 07 make their play, trying to approach where this end game is going to be. It's Passion inside of the building, but 07 having moved early, having moved quickly, now have this wall to play.
Yeah, they've got the wall to play, but you're very vulnerable from both west and east here. Smokes are going to be really important, but here comes E6 flying on top of the building. E6 just being the same aggressive squad that we're used to be seeing, and actually, they can hold the high ground here. Now, okay, they don't have the defensive legends to be able to necessarily hold a position, but they do have the guns. They do have the ability to pressure teams, but are they going to be pushed by 07?
One thing they do have is the smokes of Bangalore to deny LOSs. You mentioned how they're kind of safe up here because of the height. Well, the only place that could shoot them for now is the top of Stormcatcher, but they have that little nook to play. They have the smokes to block that line of sight, which allows them to play this, and as everyone else has to leave Stormcatcher, they will be safe up on that high ground. The difficulty is, can you hold it? Because other teams are going to challenge that and try and take that height off of you.
And look at the amount of open space. I mean, 40% of the circle is taken up by the mountain, and then 50% of it is just open area. There's a few rocks, there's a few ridges you can play around, but this building is the end game. This is where everyone wants to be able to get, and that's why we saw these few teams make their way as quick as possible once they had that information, and that information could have come from a survey beacon as well for E6, and perhaps that's how they were able to just see where they needed to go, as now other teams starting to make their move as well.
12 teams still remaining. The 3 teams who have been involved in our end games, 1, 2, and 3. In the stand-ins alliance, 07 and E6, all of them still alive in this lobby as well. Cybercats trying to make their move. This looks like a play for kills for them at the moment. Have to back up for a few seconds. As you can see in the kill feed, the Slammer's taken down Hackis as well. Hackis is on his back, but might be in a position to be rezzed. So that height, this is where everyone has to leave. This is what we were teeing up. Stormcatcher, a great place to be maybe a few moments ago, but now you have to get out of here. Cybercats cannot do that, as it will be Alliance who pick up some kills on their way forward.
Oh, just so much commotion happening in the moment outside of Stormcatcher, as E6 from this position can also pick up.
Пошли. В углу сидят. Хорка.
Хорка.
Одна. Ломай. Пока здесь стоите. Захились.
Я пока вниз упал. Где был?
Окей. Упал.
Кто-то мне есть уже, типа.
Дверь.
Я в углу.
Я тоже в углу. Я на крыше все еще играть можно, ребят.
Надо заколить, что это крыша стена.
На мне сейф.
Я с тобой.
Бля, жаль, к свиньи не выебали.
Да, степ пикнуть.
Дал тебе скан.
Ползи.
В окно его можно?
Не надо. Надо дреснуть его в углу, понял?
Давай. Если...
Стенка закончилась, сверху пикнуть могут.
Я смотрю вверх.
Мидкита, нет? Мидкита.
Дам в угол, забей.
Я феникс дал тебе в угол.
С тобой?
Такая еще в угол. Вы в эту сторону пикните, ко мне, подожмитесь.
Бля, Пита. Выше надо было.
Вышел, пикнулся.
Держи.
Я не знаю, Нормально, покажи вверх,
Чи, держи просто.
Куда его?
На ту сторону ползи обратно, где мы сидели.
Иди гранаты.
Бля.
Ну, парень, много.
Я даже хочу почти пересмотреть демку, мог ли я что-то увидеть. У меня справа дерево, слева штурмкетчер идет.
Без мяса.
Nothing would be possible because of that.
LVH go down. 6 squads remain, but Outplayed could potentially also be eliminated here because they're being griefed from all the other teams. And E6 still kings of the castle at the moment on top of this building, just making sure they do as much damage as possible. Full English go down.
Жаль, казахов не выбил.
4 squads left. 4 squads left, Cold healthy. Now this is an opportunity for Cold to answer the question that we posed in that previous game. They get into these positions, into the top 5s, into the top 6s, but it's very rare we see them with a championship banner in front of them, having been able to close out the game. The wall is going to go down as well. They had to use that to get into this position, so now they have to wait and see if they can get damage onto E6, maybe wait for abilities to come back. A lot of loot boxes down there for them to maybe find some multi-cells, but it's looking like a rough rotate.
So the circle is going to end just south of this building at the moment. So Cold are okay right now, but my worry for them is they're very visible to the 3 teams that are in the side of the building. Cold, what they need is the teams in the buildings to fight each other, and then they slowly make their way up and find a position to kind of work with. And this is winnable from Cold's position. I think this is winnable from both Cold's position and East. Actually, I'd say every team, bar maybe Passion, has a really good spot of winning, a really good chance of winning. Passion I'm worried for because they're kind of stuck in this building, and usually if you're the team within the building, you get focused quite a lot. So Passion will have to do something special.
Well, E6, the only thing that might stop them is maybe meds, maybe ammo, because they did move to this point, this spot, excuse me, a little bit earlier than everyone else, but they are going to have fantastic information. Scan comes in, they know they're going to be moved up on, but they get smoked off themselves. 07 looking to have a little bit of a push as well. From Slap, by the way. He is a turret right now. He is looking in all directions, dealing damage to everyone, which slows those rotates for just a few seconds.
And this is such a good call.
Свиньи чилит до последнего прям. Они еще пытаются какие-нибудь киллы собрать. Рестлки вызывают, чтобы появился кавер. Дополнительный грейсфул больно.
If they can stay as a 4-3, this could be winnable, but they just have to be careful that they don't get jumped on here.
По 7 должны драться с первым этажом, по идее. А, дом уже вышел. Тогда О7 вообще чилят. Они принимают свиньи с крыши.
Then that might be the difference maker, but E6 are going to try and make their move. They try and use the grav lift just to avoid all of the Bangalore rolls coming down.
Нормально. За другую сторону стены упали просто. Гад Белла элементом хреново постреляли. Ласквата, 7, Гнаски свапает. Вигман. А там ног есть, 2-2. Слаб очередной от Гнаски. Ну а Вигман Мамфи просто много работы делает. Плюс еще бочки кандует.
Oh my god, dude! Oh! Goosebumps, baby!
Beautiful. That's what I fucking like to see. Best IGL.
Fuck, man.
Ебанутый.
Good shit, guys.
Nah, that was a crazy game.
That was a good game.
Holy fuck.
Nah, that was a good game, bro.
Oh my god.
Alhamdulillah, bro.
Mashallah.
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 Good.
Inshallah, we win again. One more game, one more win, and we get additional point. One more win, and we get additional point.
Alright, don't get complacent now, yeah?
No complacency, complacency.
Yeah, no complacency.
Oh my god, Amphi, can you just scream at me like that again?
Reset lobby.
2v2, but just stopping E6 from crossing that cat wall, crossing across and taking too much damage even through the wall, just surviving long enough. And look at that, 10 kills for 07 alongside the placement points is perfect apex from them. 22 points overall. Passion, like you mentioned, a very, very good game for them as well, and no surprise to see one of the teams with the most kills in the lobby is going to be Element 6.
Yeah, E6, who I don't think they'll be too disheartened with how that went, because they got to that late game. Their composition doesn't really help them in positions like that when there's that many teams, because they don't have the cover to work with, they don't have the dark veils to utilize, but they still picked up, excuse me, a good amount of points. Elsewhere, as we go further down,
Три силуэта.
Red Dragon only getting the 2.
Не знаю, потом напомни. Я особо понимаю, о чем ты. Ну, пока перерыв, пока карта меняется, го ачивки попробуем сделать.
Мой самый преданный фанат смотрит, поэтому я буду фанатастический.
Перед вами чемпион. Я поклялась, что никогда в жизни не буду тратить время на месть. Не испытывайте эту клятву на прочность.
Ну вот это нормальная озвучка. С интонейшнсом. На бины. Он даже в дом не пошел, ладно. Что они делают? Ну.
Не все из нас в кольце.
Я постараюсь. Не благодарю. Обманули дурачка, значит, дурачка.
А, охуенно.
Даешь, разводилова. Враг в нокауте. Щиты заряжу и готов. Секунду, надо подлечить. Надо зацепить пару дырок.
Здесь дополнительные припасы. Снаряжайтесь.
Вырубил врага. Перезаряжай. Вражеский щит разбит. Видимо, замена закончена, раз никто не бежит мстить и все такое.
Ты новый лидер по убийствам, да? Рада, что ты с нами.
Щиты заряжу и готов.
Посмотрите на карту. Мы слишком далеко разошлись.
За баннерами шел. Заберет? Не, в целом если есть, то окей. Я только за. Вот дальше поищу типов.
начал путать педаль. А то я отвлекаюсь и все такое.
Лагает. Ема. А чё с серваком?
Потом ее припаркуем.
Здесь контейнер с припасами.
Сломал вражеский щит. Перезаряжай. Эта коняга сейчас ударит в галоп, а я буду кучером. Садись.
Ладно, go искать файты. Чел резнул? Нет. Проблема.
Мы слишком рассредоточены.
А вот и другие склады. Тут сейчас файт будет, и мне помешает склад справа.
Там припасы. Один в голову.
Сломал вражеский щит.
Эй, а кто?
Ой.
Меня заметили. Поймала пулю. Накормлю всех цветом. Поддам дымку. Мне бы не помешала здесь помощь. Передислоцируюсь. Меня заметили. Враг у меня на прицеле. Здесь враг. Меня заметили. Ускоряюсь. Поймала пулю. Меня ранили. Где врач? А, значит, чемпиону крышка? Трон освободился, только нас и ждет.
Лутаетесь? Вкусно вам?
Перезаряжаю щиты.
Начинаю отсчет кольца.
Сука. Минус очевок на мираже. У меня сейвание.
Тут репликатор падает.
И они просто крысят. Боже на.
Функционную вышку. Кажется, тут не хватает еще немного меня.
А, нихуя себе.
Всего минута до сужения кольца, а я опять даешь разводилова. Тебя развели. Щиты заряжу и готов. Кидаю осколочную. Тебя развели. В меня стреляют. Баба! Был отряд. Щиты заряжу и готов.
Блядь, другой склад доебался.
Меня стреляют. Перезаряжаю щиты. Половину отрядов как ветром сдуло. Везет же мне сегодня. И сразу в новый. Сломал вражеский щит. Кидаю осколочную.
Отлично.
Кидаю осколочную. Бах! Был отряд и нет отряда. Перезаряжаю щиты. Тебя развели. Враг убит. Разбит. Опа. Там реплик. Раз. Вот так. Да еще из меня. Раз для любимого контура. Да я понял. Тебя развели. Дорогу конь. Перезаряжаю щиты. Тебя развели. 45 секунд уже. Щиты заряжу и готов. Ползунуть движение кольца. Чуди. Секунду. Надо подлечиться. Попробуй отвлечь их примат. Секунду движения кольца. Хватит бубнить себе под нос. Жду врага. Бросаю дуговую звезду. Посылаю приманку. Развод пошел. Четвертый раунд. Начинаю отсчет кольца. Да еще и в меня. Пока-пока, отряд. Щиты заряжу и готов. Еще целая минута, а я около саб. Пора пустить в ход набор Феникса. «45 секунд до сужения кольца. Все еще разговариваю с собой.
Или шар надо было оставлять.
30 секунд. Надо топать.
Жаль, турбика нигде нет.
Кидаю осколочную. Кидаю осколочную.
Да пиздец. Это шутка?
Тебя развели. Тебя развели. Тебя развели. Тебя развели. Перезаряжаю щиты. Я в кольце. Посылаю приманку. Тебя разбили. Тебя разбили. Вражеский щит разбит.
Где найда, блядь?
Бросаю зажигатель.
Сука.
Сломал вражеский. Тебя разбили. Развод пошел. Щиты заряжу и готов. Да еще и в меня. Дорогу копии. Тебя развели. Тебя развели.
Почему? Сегодня уже второй раз подряд просто.
Чемпионы Апекс определены.
Все сквады там были. Все. И вот этот последний сквад уёбков ебаных до Талова сидел. И ждал нахуй. Талова, блядь. Ой, надо было сразу пушить. Я бы все эти киллы собрал. Пизда. Просто гнида на лайфе ХГ заняла и дает инфу по мне, где я нахожусь. Я не могу даже разыграть. Блять, я просто нахуй сгорел. За сегодня с этих ачивок.
У меня пинг прыгает. Здесь видел, смотрите. У меня микро прыгает здесь. Ебут на жопу.
Пробуй забрать, наверное, не будет. Хотя вот смог просто. Не факт, что не поднимается. Просто на ластайме немножко пробовать. Сейчас ебаться. Не надо. Они там точно сейчас стоят.
I'm going from roll. Flow. I mean.
I'm with ALGS. Careful so I don't knock the running us or some shit.
Yeah, I'm
They might be running middle, careful.
Keep an eye out.
I don't hear them. They might be running.
They're running us.
You in middle?
Понятно, здорово.
They're
Okay,
already
now?
up.
Okay, okay.
I'm gonna craft them.
60
Yeah,
to
craft,
the
craft.
one.
I'm watching.
watching you.
Team crafting in
Yeah.
Siphon.
Keep an eye out backward.
Can you smoke me, Aki?
Nah, no need to good.
Get it anyway. I only have 90. I'm gonna get armor one time and bats. I'm gonna do 30 away.
Yeah, I'm crafting my armor, that's it. I'm crafting next to Hux, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't forget
Yeah,
Team
I'm just-
Siphon.
I'm just watching north. I'm just watching forward. You guys are crafting.
Uh-huh.
I'm done crafting.
Okay, I'm crafting my armor.
Stop and mute Need like extra heavy if you guys find on the way, by the way.
And then you watch behind here, I guess, okay? Watch Siphon.
Здорово, Сай, не.
I'm not behind it.
У меня не настолько память хорошая, особенно если такие вещи запоминать.
To traverse the entire map here, as same can be said about 40%
я, блядь,
worse.
сцену
They
не
also have that
включил.
information, but it looks like they might end up walking right
Сижу,
into
смотрю,
Alliance
не-
here. They are going to be a little bit behind, and if Alliance continue on their normal rotation, they might not fight each other. Just depends if they hear anything behind them.
Yeah, I think Alliance have left. Alliance don't want to really be taking zone damage, but if they do hear them, they might make a decision to turn back, and they might turn back because not only 40% worse who are going to be on the crafter, Cold have wrapped all the way behind them as well. We last saw them having a look at Geyser and going, what on earth is going on here? And deciding to change their rotation completely. They might be about to come up behind 40% worse at Harvester and catch them off guard themselves. And I'm not going to lie, 40% worse will probably say, what are you doing here?
Well, at least they have the bubble down to protect themselves on the crafter, but you can see it's sneaky beaky time. They are slowly crawling up towards them. But now suddenly it's given up. They know they're there and the commotion starts to begin.
Horizon went in, and now 40% worse are just trying to survive. They're trying to escape. Doesn't look like it's going to be happening though, because JMW and Tyler are going to jump down onto Mandy. They'll take him down. But they have given up the high ground. Now, how are your meds looking, boys? Because Cold, luckily, are still on the crafter and still crafting some med kits. So they will be able to force 40% worse away and should claim this crafter for their own. But can they finish off these final two players? Are they going to be able to do so? Are they going to be griefed by them? It's a decision that has to be made very, very quickly because Zone 3 is coming, and that's when it really starts to hurt. And it looks like 40% worse have decided, you know what, this is just not a good place for us to be. We're out here.
Yeah, the last two have been able to balloon out and will be able to start to try and escape. They're going to go evac tower onto evac tower and just try and get towards zone and try and save anything. It's going to be a long old journey for Cold, but we'll check in with them later as we do. Now everyone else starting to move from south to north. Red Dragon, ALGS and Hungry, Pest Control and Alliance are all moving at the same time, and the last player from 40% worse that survives is going to be able to at least get into Monument, but it's where you go from here, to be honest. It's just about trying to pick up maybe one placement point, get into that top 15.
Alliance now moving their way up to the
Такой перерыв или на сегодня закончил? Ну, мы в целом турик смотрим. Я думал, успею ошибки сделать в перерыве. Ни хрена не вышло.
Interesting, just to note, by the way, Vamo Korea in that god spot. I think it's something just to keep in the back of your eyes, knowing what happened to them on Storm Point. So
Я боялся, что склад будет в левом тоннеле. В итогу там все оказались.
And on the outside of Climatizer is going to be Aftermath, and they win the fight against two Rats 1 controller. And I tell you what, there's still something almost therapeutic about hearing a Peacekeeper hit for big numbers. I still, to this day, it's one of my favorite noises.
I mean, it always will be. It's one of the OGs, isn't it? So it's always going to be satisfying because it just brings you back memories. It's a 5-year anniversary, so we can start to be nostalgic all we like here today. And then we get another view of that circle and where it's going. And now you can start to see why there was so much action happening on that northern side. I do love that Vamo Korea are starting to spread themselves out a little bit, making themselves big, making sure that they can hold as much space as possible so that they don't allow other teams to jump on them. Like
Три сквада как минимум за зоной
I say allowed to, maybe they weren't expecting, we didn't really get to see it, but Vamo Korea certainly want to keep that for as long as possible.
Well, Alliance are taking the fight against ALGS and Hungry. They've already got that first knock. Let's jump into Illicit to see if they can finish things off.
Both inside. All you hackers.
On the backside, on the backside.
I got back.
Yeah.
Looking inside.
Ну, от лица Хакса можно смотреть.
One is speed dead, one more. One. I don't know where he is. He's still down.
I'm looking
I'm pulling back.
Yeah, buddy. Gold knock.
I got gold knock. Careful behind us.
I'm watching behind.
We need to get in on the low ground here. Can we go back up on the bridge? We gotta hurry back up to the bridge.
Yeah, I'll take the shot, hackers. Take it.
Это киллы на команду. Чтобы было проще понимать, сколько склад киллов сделал.
Okay, I'm watching a little bit of you, Effect.
I got balloon, I'm coming.
Okay. I'm only 85 heavy, but it's fine. We just walk in.
Care the zone team. Care the zone team.
Yes.
Know where they are.
Here are back south here. We walk in high ground. We fight for the grandmas. We can play super slow and walk this in. We're still in on high ground, so.
Yeah, we make a shot from climate, huh? Actually, no, we're chilling there.
No, we just play the left side. Play the left side.
Yeah. We can even play right side.
I don't even see anyone peeking. I don't even see anyone peeking. Just carry.
Still have ult.
So Alliance win that fight very, very comfortably down. They roll August and Hungary. Somewhat surprising to see, but I want to talk about the shots from Yuki, by the way. Whew. That was nasty. That was horrid.
Exactly what I want to see in the early morning in North America, as now we're in EMEA, but I'm in North America, just in case no one knew. Yeah, we know by now, Mark, all right? Stop saying it. All right, Alliance are going to be in the circle, though, so they should be okay.
You're arguing with yourself again, Dan.
I can hear you saying things, Mark. I can hear you in my head.
Pest controller dead, and there might be more teams falling in just a few seconds as well. 40% worth, somehow, by the way, still alive and back up to a full 3. So Zerafa pulled off the miracle, and Mandy, he's still got his massive inside the bubble.
The bubble really working out for them at the moment, especially with all the ultimates going down. But can he get to the rest of the team? Looks like yes. But Alliance do have high ground above them as another black hole now comes in, and this might be the end finally for 40% worse. Sadly, the Gibraltar goes down first, as always does happen, and Alliance will clean up the pieces. So 40% worse eventually fall, but they did get their placement points. As ANC Outplayed also go down, they get 1 placement point as we're down to 11, but now because Alliance committed to this, it looks like Red Dragon have got a little bit of high ground above them, but Red Dragon just a 2, right? No, they're a full 3, never mind. Oh, they got a bow check.
They got a bow check. Also, Cold were eliminated in the meantime. If you're wondering where the team deep in zone is, they're now deep in death boxes as Red Dragon try and hold out Alliance for now. But they've got to think about planning their next rotate as well, because you can't afford to be caught in zone at this point. And look at Jukes. Jukes rocking the caustic. Kicking it back a little bit old school here with the caustic pick.
Yeah, caustic pick. I mean, there's certainly warrant to it, especially on World's Edge. You can make it work. Does offer a lot of different kind of styles of play, that's for sure. Let's see whether it's working out for them. But Alliance now up into the skies, and these arc stars could be deadly.
This is where Effect does his best work. If he can get up into that queue, take a position away, this is the damage he can do. August and Hungry, by the way, Unlucky did survive that fight. However, I'm not sure that anyone from Red Dragon who did survive what Effect is doing. The entry damage is huge. Alliance need to move in. Hackis and Yuki to finish this off. But the zone at their back is maybe just making them think about a rotate instead of just prioritizing kills here.
I'm starting to wonder where Alliance even go from here. They could try and wrap all the way around on the western side, but there's a team in the train cart, so it's not going to be comfortable for them. That would be their main decision, I would have thought, so they might have to fight their way through it. I do like that they are going to leave Red Dragon to it, but they start to get now grief from the teams that are already in there, and Alliance, even though try as they might to survive, it's looking pretty dismal.
Trying to buy time at the moment. Red Dragon trying to swing round. Look at Hackis though. Oh my goodness. Red Dragon swung into death. And now Hackis tries to hit the evac tower. He hasn't got any shields or anything to play with. He's going to fall. Unfortunate for Alliance, they will fall. A rough zone for them to try and get into. Good KP on their way forward, though, Dan. You'll take those points.
Yeah, I think they'll take a top 10 and some good KP. They've done really well from Thermal Station. Now 8 squads, because August and Hungry have gone down, as the Cybercats, with the Caustic and the Wraith, are going to be holding down this position. Now, one thing that having the Wraith to them and available is now the portal could be a big factor for their rotation here and could really help them in the late game.
Yeah, I thought we were kicking it old school. I'm seeing Wraith and Caustic on my screen in 2024. They really
5-year anniversary, baby!
It's true. It is the anniversary edition. Mind eliminated in the meantime as we see a lot of damage being done as Element 6, surprise, surprise.
Вместе с этим еще 3.
And it's time to send Slamming to do what he does best, and that is output damage in the highest way possible. They will clear up a lot of damage. They will take a spot, but there's still one player alive in and around them. They need to find him, and they need to clear it up.
E6 are such a unit. They play so well together, just in tandem. Everyone focusing the same target, and it's like going up against 3 guns every single fight you find yourself in against them. They are always making sure they're hitting the right spots. And I think the E6 are going to be in a good spot here for this game as well, because they can wrap East. They're only being held out by, I think, Aftermath are going to be the only team that will stop them. With how they've just been forcing their way through squads, I don't think they'll be too concerned. If they get themselves into the top 5 again with kills, they are still finding a consistent amount of points here. Their only worry is Infinite that are behind them and stopping them from being able to advance here.
I mean, the great thing here for qadRaT as well is I'm pretty sure they're playing Watson in their composition, which means that Bangalore Ultimate gets kind of taken out of the equation. Smokes get taken out of the equation a little bit if they're fired in as well. Grenades get taken out of the equation, and it becomes a very easy game for them to manage. They don't have to worry about some of the abilities of legends that are in the game. Cybercat's now using that portal, like you mentioned, to try and get into a safe position and away from the traffic. If they can do this, they can shoot back at everyone trying to move in, but ranches will fall.
Да, Аврора в
will be
группе С.
eliminated in the meantime. And now Zanaya, is trying to get those caustic barrels down.
Саня, извините, Кзаная. Сначала правильно сказал.
Cybercats are being shot at from qadRaT, who are holding main position. As you said, they hold the prime spot, but they're still picked up. 3 squads now remain. Cybercats will fall, and it is suddenly Aftermath versus VQ. And VQ have held this position for so long, and they are surrounding Aftermath.
They have great positioning here as well. They have a great spread. They're trying to make sure that every angle that they try and move from is going to be cut off. Aftermath trying to isolate one play. They do get the smokes down. They do have a digi, but there's damage coming in from the back from Kishira. Should be enough here to open the door for qadRaT to finally not just put points on the board here in the first game on World's Edge, but pick up a first win. qadRaT return to the fore and finally find some form.
Welcome back. Post-kill, they finally were able to play some Apex Legends. They weren't being contested. They were able to get into a position. And remember, they played for that northern spot. They heard all the fighting that was happening.
Ну, коты зато полутали нормально. На 8-м месте еще.
And they get the victory because of it. And you were quite right. They're playing that Watson. They were able to take a lot of space and hold a lot of teams back. And as soon as that circle continued to pull north, all the teams that were on the southern side just had to look up and see, oh, all right, there's already a team there that's doing the damage to us. And it was just a matter of picking up KP if you were one of the other teams. There was still a chance for Aftermath at the end, but because you were right, the spread that we saw from qadRaT, it was like a cheese board at Christmas, Mark. It was absolute perfection.
Cheese board at Christmas, the new tactical formation, which is actually in the art of war. But anyway, let's talk about some of the other performers in this game, Dan, because it was obviously a vital performance, right, for qadRaT in that game. It was you win or nothing for them almost after the first 3 games on Store Point, and how they really just didn't get their foot in the game, let alone on the gas. And I think for them to win that game is not only a great sign for them moving forward, but I think you're looking at teams like Element 6, and I kind of feel a little bit bad for Full English, because they took that initial spot. They had ring console. They won the first fight against 07. They managed to hold off a third party as well, but it was the fourth party that came in that was, of course, VQ, who managed to win the game, that they just weren't able to kind of sustain those kills and sustain their life long enough, because we saw how valuable that position was. That was the game-winning position.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a little bit disappointed. Mark, we'll let you drop for a little bit, and I'll bring Stella in to chat about that game as well. I mean, Stella, we saw so much commotion happening on the northern side, but we can see why it happened, because qadRaT, they got that position and they won because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Onset brings up a good point about how it really sucked for Full English. I mean, they were able to hold off on their own for so long, but it's kind of a waterfall effect that happens, especially on a map like World's Edge, where it's a little bit smaller, and it does end up having this flow to it, where if you don't finish your kills as fast as possible and move to a different spot, or at least bunker down with, say, EXO with Watson, Bangalore, and Catalyst being able to bunker down and defend, you have to either move and reposition or defend properly. And some of these teams just were not ready for that flow, especially after Stormpoint. Things were a lot slower. But listen, everyone knows World's Edge, so it moves a lot faster.
It does at times, and I think that qadRaT now are going to be able to leap up the leaderboards. 22 points on the board, 10 kills. After getting 0 3 times in a row on Storm Point, this is the perfect way to bounce back. And
командный центр только на лане.
On social media, you know, it's going to be tough to qualify after our initial performances, but no matter if there is just a small chance, he will.
Возможно, еще на финальный день добавят.
And they give themselves at least the opportunity now as they start to put some points on the board.
Ну, вряд ли.
To Aftermath, they get 18, Cybercats with 13, running a caustic Wraith composition, which we love to see, especially on the 5th anniversary. And then E6, again, just, you know, they're always there and thereabouts in the top 5, getting kills on the board and just being aggressive as always.
It's a little terrifying that you say they're just always there, you know?
Always.
Yeah, also, so we see in 12th place ANCL played. This is one of the teams that we were speaking about earlier before, and 40% worse, who I expected to do a little bit better on World's Edge, especially since this is something that people are very much used to. I was very surprised to see cold go out so early, but we do know that a lot of the northern teams did get a little bit of
Да,
bad
Иван.
luck with the
Можно
zone
на
pull.
каждую
That's kind of
команду
what
заходить и
happens. You have to
смотреть
be
от их
ready for
лица.
any of these RNG pulls. So it's
Что
really rough, but
происходит?
I mean, hey, this was only game 1 on World's Edge, so maybe we'll see them come back.
Look at this damage as well. This was from the last match. 4.5k in total from qadRaT, almost 2k from Sens. Remember, we were hyping up Effect for a 2k plus game, or Sens showing why and what an important factor he is on this roster. Aftermath putting up 3.5k. Cybercats less so damage, but they were more about hunkering down with the caustic and just trying to survive, and they did very well to get into the top 3.
Yeah, I actually do want to give them kudos for being able to rotate in faster, which they also obviously did have more access to ring consoles. But the thing is, you still have to find a good position. Just getting into circle isn't good enough. But good for them for getting up into the top 10 here, looking at the series results so far. And Element 6 at top with 34 kills. Oh, that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, they're playing amazing at the moment. I've mentioned it a few times. They're just, the communication's on point, baiting, switching at the right times, and I think that anyone will be terrified if a Bloodhound's coming towards them, because there's a percentage chance it could be E6, and I wouldn't want to fight them, that's for sure.
Oh no, me neither. But you know what? There are some people that might want to
Илонзи,
fight them.
да.
And yes, that is my lead into talking about the Challenger Circuit. Now, registration is closed for the Challenger Circuit Split 1, but guess what? You are going to be able to register for Challenger Circuit 2, which registration opens tomorrow. So that's going to be really exciting. So if you think you have what it takes to get into ALGS, give it a try. I mean, ANC Outplayed is one of the great success stories to come out of the Challenger Circuit this season. So who knows?
Yeah, we've started to see a few teams that, you know, go through Challenger, get into Pro League, and then are really able to compete with the very best. And we love to see that. We love an underdog story. So get signed up, get playing, and maybe we'll see you on the ALGS soon.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I would say we should make a team, but I know that we're deep in the Pal world. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break and come back with your next game.
А нет, Сакаши. Ты что, реально она нравится?
Welcome back again, everybody. The ALGS is starting to hot up a little bit here, down with 2 games left to go. World's Edge is where we're going to be, of course, seeing the action take place. But qadRaT finally get to play some Apex, and when they do, Dan, they win games. First place in the last game, looking pretty good. Stormpoint wasn't their cup of tea, but World's Edge is looking a lot more comfortable.
It reminds me of, you know, the Ascend of old. That's what qadRaT did on World's Edge. They would find a spot to work with right at the start of the game, and they would just play it out. And I think they were even using, like, Watson in Newcastle back in the day as well to do similar things. So it's qadRaT's post-kill doing as they did, but it was Sens who had almost 2k damage to be able to go alongside that. So the perfect game for them, but can they replicate that success? Because they even might find themselves in the top 10 now, but can they continue to get points? Because if they find themselves on another couple of zeros, they'll still drop into that bottom 10. They want to be picking up a few more points here to start competing and start climbing that leaderboard.
Well, let's look at the Legend Select screen and we see what compositions are going to be run. It gives us a little bit of an opportunity maybe to talk through what we've seen, Dan, because Stormpoint, it pretty much belonged to 07 and E6. E6 had a decent enough performance with placement and kill in that last game, but 07, they made the early play that you would say a risky play, but one that they saw with long-term potential to try and take that early position away from Full English, who were holding it initially. Of course, it was the game-winning spot, like we mentioned, and I kind of like sometimes when teams see an opportunity to take an isolated fight for what they believe is going to be the best position. It's a risky play, of course, but if you're confident and you win it, you see the rewards that you can get from doing so.
Well, can they do it again, qadRaT, or will we see 07 actually take that risk this time and be rewarded for it? It's always disappointing, and I completely agree with you that they're going to be, you know, a little bit annoyed by that factor, but sometimes that is Apex Legends. If you see a game-winning play in the early stages, you take it, and sometimes it can come down to just, are you going to get third parties or not going to get third party? Right, do we have the contest happening at Overlook? Potentially. Oh, there's a solo player landing split from the team, and it looks like they're trying to take advantage of that.
But it's the horizon at least, which means that Lyfin can go into the sky and break a few ankles if he wants to, and break ankles he has. Not only has he survived against the entire team dropping on him, he's just forced all of Aftermath to drop down into the tunnel below. So Lyfin is just by himself. Sent him packing.
Где Аврора?
Unbelievable. So they saw Lyfin dropping on his own, and they all decided to drop on him. They were like, drop on this guy, and he survives. He gets a gun. He got the gun first. He was like, come on then, let's have it. And he just gets up into the air.
It was like,
this is my opportunity. Знакомое место. Знакомый 3-2-2.
Today.
Right.
It was like Declan Rice, you know, away at Liverpool. Don't know if there's any football fans when the whole of Liverpool was running at him.
Oh yeah.
That was what it was like. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you start supporting Arsenal.
Well, it's like Aragorn in Lord of the Rings holding off the entire of Mordor. That's how it works for the nerds that watch.
There's a more relative reference for everyone who might be watching. Anyway, Zone, let's talk about that. Thermal Station.
Great for Alliance. Do they have a ring beacon, a ring console? I can't actually see, but Mind certainly do, and Mind can be able to either stay at tree or move over if they would like to. I mean, this could pull to the building that has the survey beacon down in the far south. We might see a few teams start to play that, and Cybercat's already making their move from Harvester. They had a ring console as well. Passion moving, so all the teams actually in the kind of southwest area did have that knowledge, so they are going to be able to move quickly and take prime position.
Yeah, a little bit of a different zone. I will say the zones today have been pretty well split across the map. We've had some extreme north and then some extreme south. We had a couple of central-ish, I would say, on Stormpoint as well. Exactly, probably about as central as you can get on Stormpoint, actually, with the zone pull that did actually happen outside of Stormcatcher. But Exo Clan are probably thinking, let's not talk about that for now. Let's talk about what's going on in front of us, because young Hong Kong, well, he's got to be a young god right now if he wants to win this one. But there's one way of maybe doing it. Well, unfortunately taken down. 07 win that early fight, Dan.
Every time a shot
stop looting, take height, you're full HP.
Yeah, I'm taking height.
Take height and just hold us. We're gonna have a long timer, okay?
Goes anywhere, sadly. But Alliance, they were able to get any stragglers that found them.
Далекий пиздец.
He might have run mushroom and ratted already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine.
Teams all around us, all around us.
Tons of bats here, tons of bats here. 2 bats, 2 medkits, and a phoenix. There's an armor too, you can blue.
А 24, да, Хавок, что не взял?
You need to go take top and you can go loot.
Mm-hmm. Give me the purple laser.
I'm 13 from blue. I'm 13 from blue.
Give me purple laser, Hackers. Give me.
I don't have it, I never took it.
Okay. I'm queuing up, you can go loot, you can.
Okay.
I have no long range though.
Got mama.
It's fine.
No, there's a guy there, right? There's a guy there, I just saw him.
Wait. Solo?
Yeah. Hey, come here, we kill him.
I'm gonna come.
I'm holding.
Drop without armor.
Get up, in here. White armor,
Look at him.
180, he's 1p. In the lava.
You guys got him. I'm watching around. Nice. Nice cock.
Good shit, I guess. Nice what?
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 I'm looting this guy here, gold.
Yep.
The commotion that we saw happening on the eastern side
team double building, careful. Double res building. In the open here.
Moving a little bit further south, as you spoke about. You spoke about comfort picks. Well, it's from one to another as 40%. Let's see what the comms are like as John Mitchell listening.
sure?
Yeah. Come there, fucking banners. I don't give a fuck.
Come here. See it right here.
You see that comp? What's that comp? Yeah, what's that comp?
Look.
What's that comp? Did they have a split?
Bang, Horizon.
Okay, good.
Yeah, this is together,
man.
Guys.
Fuck you.
Actually, if you were not playing Bloodhound, you would not know they're close, and you would probably die.
No, that is true. No, that is true, Zach. No,
Hey! Just wait.
Well, I'm not allowed to give out awards, but that's best listing of the day. I don't care what anyone says. Best listing of the day. Vibes. That comp just screams vibes.
Vibes. They are more than happy to camp those banners because they have been
griefed
by certain teams on their rotation. So sometimes like anger plays a part in the way that you play Apex Legends. And 40% worse, very passionate it would seem about holding those banners. And yeah, we see a Pathfinder, and anytime Onset sees a Pathfinder, he gets a little bit excited because he knows that Pathfinder brings the pure vibes.
Yeah, I mean, let's just be real. Still, to this day, Pathfinder is the most fun legend to play.
Hey, speaking of Season 20, if we see a Pathfinder buff, I'm always calling for Pathfinder buffs. So,
Pathfinder, give it a rocket launcher.
Give him everything.
Give him everything.
Suddenly, Pathfinder has a
Миражу
100%
надо.
pick rate
Я
in
не
their
могу ачивки
FPS,
сделать.
with rockets on his back.
Exactly. Got like cannons coming out of his legs.
If anyone could do it, it could be Pathfinder, that's for sure. It looks like 40% worse have successfully camped those banners, by the way. The last remaining players did try and get it back, but they were forced back and forced away. Shiv's even chasing it at the moment because he really wants to get this kill, desperate for it. But then they're going to have to rotate through. So they do have a southern rotation. They can go down towards tree. No one's in tree right now, so they would be safe there. But then you force yourself into the choke point between tree and thermal. So it's not going to be particularly fun, but everyone else is going to have to try and do a similar thing, to be honest. There are several choke points towards this final circle that you're going to have to fight your way through.
Well, Red Dragon taking a little bit of damage here. August and Hungry holding down the choke, which is just outside a tree at the moment. You've got a couple of solos knocking out here as well from Mind. I think I'm trying to have a little look at this. And Mind indeed were having a look, but they have lost a player on their way forward, so it might be just a case of maybe hitting the craft.
Я не пойму, это из левого или из правого склада?
Он забрал его, только что убегать начал.
Думаешь?
Потому что никого нету.
Не
В
факт.
доме никого не было.
Тихо,
Я сканил.
Сентинел туда. Два смока дал, пробую болтать. Стоит маг. Он меня тракает на стриме.
Не могу, я встану. Смотрю.
Добивал Феникс. Ну, оттуда дрон вел, но походу он там один сидит.
Он отсюда дрона вел.
Да. Это два разных склада. Один слева, один справа.
Ресает один.
Где?
Я не попадаю по какой-то причине, блядь. 42 белый.
Они ушли в даму.
На Торике ж, по идее, можно лутать поинты. Если чела резали.
Лутать можно?
Нет, там ничего нет, забей.
Себя на стриме сказал.
Ну,
Ну, понятно,
да.
что
Я
не
могу тебе
интервью
скинуть
кому-то
это.
давал. Лишь интересует сам момент. Хотя записи стрима, наверное, не будет.
Иди сюда, подбирай этот мап, пока есть время.
Хорошо, каталист. Неплохо.
Там жаба еще есть, заберет как раз.
Медкит что не берет?
Смог пока не рассеялся.
У вас к спине подходят мейби. Бочки нету, бочки не... А, нет, ладно, есть. Нормально. Нет, на карту не подходит.
Жабу. Где ресалка была?
У меня вот.
Подожди, что?
Ну там смог рассеялся, я отошел.
Да казах давно с
Ты не подобрал ничего, типа?
Не, я подобрал такой отмат.
Ты просто жабу скинул, но не подобрал его?
Да, потому что, думаю, подберу, там смог рассеялся, я отошел.
Сейчас по зоне поймем, что делаем. Я вообще... А, тут нету чеков, это за глобальный не почекал, что происходит. Если что, под челами крюк, я ничего не смотрю со своей стороны. Фита, тебе надо вот за горой играть этой.
Okay.
И поглядывать мне вот эту хуйню.
Здесь 3 склада.
13 кодов, много спейса свободно должно быть.
А можно я кому-нибудь, 50 дам, а он умрет сразу же, блядь? Они вот эти 100, блядь.
52.
52. У вас копы нету получше, чем 2х?
2х.
Тройку у меня на репитере. Армор надо скинуть, если ты хочешь пикать, меняться.
Я не хочу пикаться, я просто люди соседства не просто.
Смотри, что тебя слева не вышли.
Здесь не увидел, что будет не очень. Под нами дрон вызвался.
Вы под тебя челы не прошли?
Понял, Джек.
У нас здесь зона будет?
Ух ты, ебать. Рекрен говорит, что в Warzone хуйня полная.
Да, я хотел. Дай смог мне.
Хуйню любишь, получается? Аврора, когда?
Откуда тебе прилетел? Откуда прилетел Сентинел?
Снизу.
Тихо, звук дай мне. У меня челы. У меня челы не дай.
Жень, смотри.
Смог.
Зоношка, ребят.
Подо мной, по-моему. Двое минимум.
Корка и еще
Трое.
Наглеть хотят.
Отсюда крабер.
Надо не пустить. Отойди назад, не беги ко мне.
Еще жопа буду стоять к краберу.
К какому краберу? Ну, встань слева где-то, найди.
Проходят справа. В дом идут.
Какой?
Левый
Почему
дом.
они это делают? Дома не бегут, они за домом.
Это ж лево, а не право.
Может хоть полететь 30 секунд?
Может быть. Мы можем здесь поиграть, у нас же есть тут спейсы? Смотри.
Да, ну есть, да.
Ну,
да.
камни, все хуйня, чтобы сейвы были от всего. Эти чилы ротейтятся дальше в open.
У нас слева будет.
Нога одна хп есть еще. Смог отдела. Ротейтится выход под тебя. Хуёво стоит, прям максимально?
Ну, слева нас будет видеть стермалки.
В домах сколько чилов?
Один сквад справа был. Могут еще сейчас полететь.
Один сквад? Можем тогда занять? Попробовать. Подойди сюда, проскани от этой хуйни. 75 метров как раз будет. Вот от меня прям.
Давай. Вон, спиной стоит, смотри.
Просто проскань!
Оп, нажал.
Там каустик стоит в контроле. Смоком туда накинул. Надо будет пройти, ребят. Бля, ну они втроем. Отпекать и проходим. Пока нормально стоится. Бля, надо жопу закрыть, ребят, тут норм стоится.
По-правому, можно пройти.
Жопу закроем и потом в них дойдем, ребят. Пока есть зона. Вот оттуда пикают откуда-то, не? У меня никого нет пока.
Вот тут стоит сквад на моей метке.
Угу. Не напикивайтесь пока, подождите зону.
Один сквад справа. Слева близко, вот тут на моей метке. У всех краберов.
Да, это страж был заряженный по ебучке.
Слева у казаха сейчас будет типа.
Не вижу себя. Двигатель смотрю.
Просто ждем докалывать зону, эти типы не будут нас все время смотреть.
Да, жук напикивай, если что скажешь, если они там не будут смотреть. Нам надо как-то в тот дом пройти, на хуй на это делать. Чилы в АП стоят. Одно хп оставил каталист.
Дай смог опять, я ничего
да.
Не буду.
Что там происходит?
0-0 по бонкам.
На нас смотрит, пока фул нас смотрит.
Блять, какого хуя не фул нас смотрит?
На дороге с поворотниками. Чё?
Банк есть? У меня сейчас опять
У меня 2-3. Ты можешь бы поменять позицию и не стоять там? Чтобы тебя не тратили банки, и я смоки не тратил, чтобы мы подпушить потом смогли.
Женя, с тобой.
Просто вы здесь сидели.
Стоит один, смотрит на рысе. Че, можешь мы как-нибудь соизволим пикнуть одного?
Я бегу к вам.
Под ними в тоннеле еще
типа. Слева вроде отошли. Там крабер еще.
справа.
Ну по левой, по низу можно упасть просто? Беспалевно ко мне. Ко
Там
мне,
в спину
отойди.
выебут, нет? Или там...
Вниз падайте ко мне и пошли к ним. Я сюрик даю им на дверь. Надо будет бочку сломать на первом этаже.
Надо смог.
Сюда проходите. Ульту в них отдал.
Да, ульта скала.
Видите внутри, если что, потихоньку. Я в дигитал смотрю. Кракнул одного. Ломайте там всю. Надо спейться выжить, второй этаж тоже. Сейчас ультанет, иначе каустик нас.
Иду второй этаж, зажимаю, отнял второй этаж. Справа один.
Крабер может в окно пикнуть, слышишь? Ты-то банки не тратите. В окно пикает крабер уже, я вижу.
Нехуй тратить. Дал скан.
Все, АФК стойте? Нет, пока. Сиди там. Через балкон, если что, поднимешься. Я смог откинул тут. Одна есть. У меня 1-2 по банкам осталось.
А у меня диджит, он. Подкушает.
В окно пикнет. Дверь подопри. Банкой. Рук. Бля, нам сейчас закинут инту, нахуй убьют. Грена, ко мне. Смог откинул, чтобы не смотрели.
Он не сейф.
Лук, ну хватит пикаться, у нас банок 0. Нахуй это делать?
Я не хочу, чтобы они по лестнице к нам поднялись.
Они не будут ничего делать.
Ну что-то делают, вот кламбить хотят.
Зона на нас.
Ну надо, да.
Дай банк.
На, блять, все, больше нет у меня нахуй. Ему дал одну. Надо будет, да, это драть. На крыше видно. Там один за домом справа стоит, я его пикаю. Вот, похилил, скандует на мне. 120.
Скандует одно, давай 40 стоял.
Я один наглею в нее. Порка куртку дала. На меня летит, да, я отошел к вам.
Я тебя не могу не агрессивно здесь пикать.
Дал скан. Могут полететь на тайминге.
Угу. Надо первый этап... он застроен. Но не частично только почему.
Сын.
Пикать только из окна можно, ребят. На спину никто не выйдет. 4 склада всего. Терпеть надо вместе.
От меня можно побегать.
Да,
там ноки. Хэви есть?
Нет.
80 хэви.
Тут его подня прям.
Нет, ничего.
Сама прыгни. Дал скан право. Никого. Вот тут сидит хэви лечаем.
Даже еще право не шутнули в один тайминг.
Я только что зону увидел, какой-то баг случился, меня залагало нахуй ком.
Флэш.
В окно пикать будет.
Одна. Может крышу доесть как-то?
Нет, без вариантов.
Вертикалку пробую оформить.
У тебя слева ног.
Не могу, я это не
Ничего не могу. Зачем ты ультанул?
Это не ульта.
Я ультанул. Слева сольник сидит, ребят. Вот тут на моей метке. Рисует инсайдер.
Вот тут сольник сидит?
Да.
Его будет
дал скан
кажется.
тебе. Да, его ебут.
Гранаты бы ему кажется.
Я тебе могу 40 дать. Ну,
не,
сейчас.
Ну, на зону нет еще. Вот крыша сейчас фри.
Дал 40. У нас потом запущено.
Там
Они да, на хуйне стоят.
Жалко.
Сольника убили.
Я не мог.
Да не, к тому, что могли.
Турец вон контроллер.
Эти крысы. 4-12.
Блять, мне бы дверь закрыть этим.
У тебя ульта будет на лестницу им, чтобы мы крышу заняли еще?
Походу один ред там был, последний.
Ульту надо на крышу и не умереть как-то там.
Да, надо будет на лестницу ее прокинуть. Но последними, походу. Вместе с... Блять, я не знаю, как это сделать.
Не, надо чуть раньше, чтобы они немножко посрались там.
А там каустика нету?
Нет, у верхних нету. У нижних каустик. Может кинуть и занять, ребят?
Можно вот сюда куда-то прокинуть. Вот сюда прокинуть надо будет.
Давай.
Подойди ко мне. Их хорошо прокинь.
Закинул туда.
Угу.
Меня сломали нахуй.
Мы можем занять.
Сирик туда кинул. Стикнул чела там.
У меня сыр.
Конвит нокнул. Даешь просто.
Дал щит.
Сапай. Попал, помогай с ним. Бил.
Да, раз без хода, залез на лестницу над тобой.
Положил кого-то. Ко мне ползи. Еще наглеет кто-то. Ко мне ползи просто.
Ульта, не? Ульту не будет?
Сломай вот это.
Не.
Залез.
Ебать, что?
Стирает, нахуй.
Да.
Блять. Что с тобой случилось, Хит?
В смысле? Я с вами на лестнице дрался на крыше.
Спину
Хорька была
разъебали.
справа и каталист.
Нам надо было лестницу... Ой, прямо в смоках, кстати, ебать их. Еще ульт свой отдал зачем-то, я не понял зачем. Ты бы просто в дигитал их убил.
О, котики, ебать. Да?
Oh, they're taking a little bit of a chunk here. Looks up to the skies, but there's been enough damage here now. This is just going to be simple as for Outplayed as they start to finish up the pieces.
Блять, второе. Этот сольник выжил? Серьезно? Охуеть, сольник выжил. Сольник пережил котов.
With the position that they had found themselves in.
Обидно.
Yeah, really good job there from Outplayed in those final, I would say, 2 zones. They managed to hold off and be aware that there might be a late rotate behind them coming in from 2R1C. Most importantly, they cleaned up that rat as well, just to make sure that they flushed him out with the Q to make sure that their side was completely owned by themselves, and then it's just a case of waiting, right? I mentioned, let the zone do the work, let the zone force the teams to have to leave together. They're all going to damage each other. Had some great head glitches to play. It's almost a position where you got to win from that position, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, and potentially frustration on the other side. As soon as you see that black hole come down on the door there, and you're just like, God damn it. I mean, the one solo player decides to ruin any chances of us even trying to take this 3v3, but that is what can happen in a final circle sometimes. And you were completely right that Watson probably wins it for them anyway, even if they were able to escape. But again, we are seeing the advantage of Caustic. They were able to hunker down in that building and train station for quite some time, and they secure a top 3 because of it.
Well, they do, of course, win the game ANC Outplayed, and I'm going to send you a little breakdown. Just catch your breath for a few seconds and get ready for our final game of the day. Bringing Stella back in now to talk about what we did see. And yeah, ANC Outplayed, presenting their case to be one of the best performing teams so far today.
Yeah, they did a great job of showing what it is that they do so well, playing together. I'm really sad that they weren't able to get first place, but they did a great job of securing second. And honestly, I also have to shout out CyberCats for actually utilizing their characters really well this time around. They were able to bunker down. You know, at the end, their attention was a little bit scattered. And at the top 3 squads with the circle that close, you can't be scattering your attention. You need to be focus firing. So as they are getting better, but I do hope that their comms are able to focus fire certain teams.
Yeah, I think you see the benefits and the downsides of Caustic, right? And I gotta say, I don't think Caustic is the best legend to be picking at the moment. It allows you to sit in a building, but when you've got a lot of visual clutter, when you've got Watson interception pylons in the lobby, the bigger character model, very easy to take down. The Nox gas becomes completely null and void because the gen's just going to eat that thing up. And I think it's certainly this. You could play a catalyst and do the same things, but put yourself in a position with her Dark Veil to cut zones in half and give you a little bit more option towards the end game. So I think that I think maybe people are trying stuff and overthinking things a little bit sometimes when they're looking at those kind of legends. I just don't think that Caustic at the moment, where he is and his abilities, really assist you in those end game situations.
Yeah, I think that's what I love about Apex the most, is that the meta is always changing, right? But you can make certain characters work for a playstyle, but you still have to be aware of your opponents and how exactly that's going to feel. So really good call on that. And I definitely would have gone with Catalyst, but I really wanted to see some cool Caustic plays. But let's go ahead and take a look at the match results and see how this played out for all of them. CyberCats at 3, 0 kills. Again, they were more focused on survival than anything else, but they did end up getting 7 points.
Yeah, they did indeed, and they hunkered down in that building, and they weren't really able to output damage too much. Like you say, 0 kills with 7 points, but ANC Outplayed, they are the story. 20 points overall for them. Hey, surprise, surprise, who got second most kills in the lobby? Actually, it wasn't Element 6, it was 2 rounds 1 controller, so I stand corrected. They get 13 points overall, but surprise, surprise, Element 6 still get a huge amount of KP. 7 for them alongside a few placement points. They've been really consistent today, and even though some of the zones haven't favored them, the ones that haven't, they've still got good points on.
Yeah, it's been really great watching you cast, because then I'm able to look at their movements, and it's been really interesting to see E6 take things very slow. Now, Alliance was in the circle very early on, only ended up getting 4 kills, and did end up taken out pretty early. Same with Full English and the others who actually were dropping in the southern part of the map too, which is interesting. But that is kind of the flow of what happens when you two land in the zone early. So it is unfortunate, but I mean, maybe we'll get a middle of the map drop? I don't know.
We have to see. I mean, one team who are going to be very happy with the second place, only being a solo, is
Везде баллы добавляешь, что надо.
on the right-hand side of your screen. You can see them there, managing to change a few less placement points into 9 overall, alongside the 4 kills they managed to get. So a very good performance from them. But the story of game number 5 is ANC outplayed, right? 3.775k damage is exceptional, and I think that the way they control that ridge, the way they were able to walk into that zone is the perfect way to play that particular zone.
Yeah, I agree. I think ANC Outplayed did actually live up to their name and outplay E6, who is also playing around the same zone, but E6 just wasn't able to recover fast enough, and ANC Outplayed just swept in. We do see elements of leading today, though, with 41 kills, which is 21 points above 07 in second place, though.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of leads into what I was saying, right? Even though the zones
поставьте МТВ расширение.
Zones, they still kill a lot of people on their way towards those, and 41 kills overall, more than double the next in the lobby, kind of sums up Element 6 today. I think they've been superb.
Yeah, I do. Listen, I don't know what they're drinking, whatever kind of coffee they're having, but I need to have some of that. I also do kind of want to talk about that split circle where we saw 40% worse and cold and mind all kind of screwed on the other side. So I did want to get your take about this, because I personally would do placement over getting KP, but in that scenario, what would you choose? Would you optimize KP over placement, or I don't know what your pick would be?
I think if you're on the eastern side of that mountain range, you've got to win the game, because you've just got to look for KP, because even if you survive long enough, then you have to try and somehow get around that mountain range with the zone cutting most of your health down before you even get there. We saw that from 2R1C, right? They won the fight, but then even though they had to make a desperate play to try and get around that mountain, they land in a position where there's a team there and they still are down health meds, so they're not going to be able to fight their way in a fair fight there. So sometimes it's about where the traffic is on a map, right? If you are trying to rotate and there's a lot of teams there who aren't rotating or are deciding to try and hold
длиннее, давай, Брайан, восклицательный знак член пиши.
The safer thing to do is play for the points, play for the kills, and guarantee yourself something instead of kind of hoping.
Yeah, I think what a lot of smart teams do is they know when to pull out of a fight. But I mean, we did see 2R1C want to be aggressive, and they had the comp for it, so they took their chance and did it. But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have game number 6 for you.
Не тот смайл. Надо было вот этот же, который qadRaT скинул. Вот такой надо. Там кулдаун на бота, ребят. Да, другой вариант тоже есть. Хотя бы не 5. Пока что ж не ясно. Там, по-моему, даже 0 можно выбить. И чё, Сака? Сейчас проверим, сколько стоишь. Ебать, число охуенное. Максимум 1000, если чё.
One more game to go, everybody. One more game to go. What a day it's been for EMEA. There has been some kill-heavy teams, and there's also been the resurrection of 07 on Storm Point, but it's been a little bit slow on World's Edge. But as far as expectations, I think we've got to start looking maybe at the middle of the table at the moment, Dan, because it seems like the top 3 are pretty solid at this point, but there's a lot of room to shuffle those final standings about in this final game.
Yeah, there's a little bit of Actually, I was going to say a little bit of wiggle room, but I think you're right. There is a lot of wiggle room because I think the biggest change was Vamos getting that victory in match 4, taking those points away from some of the leaders, but also propelling themselves into the mid-table. And it means that there are a lot of teams competing for some of the mid-table points here, but you can very easily drop off, so Vamos need to be careful as well.
Надеюсь,
another
нет.
0-pointer here, and it just opens up the door for some of these teams that are in the bottom 10 to jump up and take it right off of them. We've had 07 win 2 games. Can they manage to
Нахрена возвращать то, что для говноедов? Это то же самое, как античит выключить, чтобы софтеры ебашили. Развод гитариста. А, Доги. Ну ты хорош. В 12 ночи гитару.
Bonus point to be picked up in the Apex Legends Global Series. I think personally they should be sent a trophy for that.
Минус 75 тысяч уходит. Я могу тебя сразу вернуть сейчас? Вроде могу. Я проверю. Я могу, я вижу.
Overlook this time, LVH and Aftermath is going to be actual fight this time rather than dropping on one player.
Rising queuing up to height. Ifin tries to go into a position to, I was going to say do max damage, then I realized he's got a Mozambique, so probably not going to be able to do so, and it looks like Aftermath are going to be leaving and maybe taking the Vault Tunnel. So they had a little look, they had a little posture up, but nobody really willing to throw the first punch down, which as we all know, I'm sure you've been in that situation before.
Do I look like that? Do I? Is that
kind of guy? I'm just saying, you seem like that kind of guy.
Especially wearing my oversized jacket, you know? I'm surprised. Again, Aftermath retreating slightly.
Я ж тебе ответил.
Fully running away here. They haven't quite gone over towards Vault. It looks like they are considering it.
Блять, у вас рассинхрон? Те, кто на ютубе смотрел еще на твиче, кто на твиче еще на ютуб перешел. Не, ну с твича на ютуб я понимаю, потому что не лагает. Завтра напомню, у меня завтра операция, блять. На операционном столе буду тебя на гитаре хуярить.
That's all you can do, really. The problem is, like, where do you scrap loot on the way? I think if they would have gone into the Vault Tunnel, maybe they would have had a little bit of an opportunity to pick up a little bit more loot on their way. They could have, I was going to say, potentially crafting guys, but no crafting available.
Говорю, надеюсь, конфиги не это... Дальше будут блокировать, если лазейки какие-то найдут.
Hey, where's our loot gone? They do have a ring console, though, which is going to be good news for them to find out where we're going. And where we're going is up to the northwest, Dan.
We really have had a variety of zones. Yeah, I love it.
It's
been quite fair to everyone, really, and yeah, E6 can be very happy at trials. Outplayed had the ability to get ring console information, so they're also moving up towards Skyhook quickly. ExoClan won't be too far behind them. As for all the southern teams, I mean, I guess we've had a variety of circles, but at the same time, some of the maybe southeast teams might feel like they have been a little bit screwed over, but you know, you can only work with what's presented in front of you. Cold, Red Dragon are going to have to work with all the way across from southeast to northwest. For Alliance, I don't think they had a ring console down at Thermal, but mind, both of them do have survey beacons if they had any legends to use them. So it might just have to be move and listen and look to the skies and hope to maybe shadow some other teams.
Yeah, Alliance have the opportunity to... Oh, we might see an opportunity for a kill here. However, flash damage, flash damage, flash damage, flash damage. Oh, we got the kill. Fair play. Fair play noises. Full English do get their first kill in this game, taking down a Thon there, but they might be able to move up and finish these kills off, or it might just be a case of chasing this player down, securing that kill, and just giving yourself that extra point. But just going back to Alliance very, very quickly there, they do have the opportunity to go to staging and hit the ring console, and I think third beacon information is going to be really important for teams here, because yes, it looks like a Skyhook zone, but Countdown, the entire POI is still here as well, and it might pull a little bit away. So I think teams might think about playing for the third beacon, but Full English, they're on their rotate. Let's jump into a listening, Dan. Let's see what the English boys have got to say.
Just a fucking balloon on him, I know. If we balloon on him, we can't. Yeah, he's on my red ping. I know. I'm saying if we balloon on him, we can't escape.
Вовремя. Это совсем плохо играет. Ну, в целом, нормально, у них 3 топа. Топ-3.
Shoot the blood out for me, please.
Топ-3 2 раза занял.
Flash.
I'm sliding it.
I need two. Bloodhound's one. Try and get the knock. Just come back then.
I'm still running.
Okay, coming.
With you.
I'm coming.
Crack bang.
I mean...
One's in behind us.
I'm gonna swing.
Blood down. Swing, blood.
And the vent.
Dead.
Когда выпадает второй рейк после первого, да хоть в следующем ящике.
36 flash. Back here.
I'm gonna heal Bryn. Go.
Alright, fuck it.
Okay, I'm dropping 2 oxels here. If you need them, take them.
Гарант на 500-ом.
Well, full English get 2 down, but don't quite get the full compliment. One player did manage to escape there for a few
Блокировки
seconds.
тормозят его.
Eliminated in the meantime, as we jump over to look at
Это
another
у меня,
fight.
наверное,
It's still
скампом
going down between two teams who have been fighting off the drop for pretty much the entirety of this game.
Yeah, just so much action happening in various different areas.
У меня, видимо, приоритет процесса
LVH and 2R1C all are trying to do something.
В приоритете явно не браузер.
I feel like Aftermath have constantly just been running away at the moment, and like they're just being pressured and they're just trying to find their way out, and then another team arrives and they're going to be a little bit frustrated with that one.
It's LVH and 2Rats, one controller, who are kind of posturing against each other. Like you mentioned, Aftermath managed to run away, realizing they were the potential meat in the sandwich, but decided they didn't want to do that. They wanted to be a part of this game for a little bit longer, and it does seem like sometimes you have those games where you just survive for long enough, and then you might be able to walk over a couple of loot boxes a little bit later, pick up a little bit more third-party something, and then you find yourself with good loot, and most importantly, still alive and able to contribute towards the placement points in the end of this game. But Full English, who were in a great position, still find themselves in one for now, as Dell will go in to finish off some damage. That'll be Infinite eliminated, and they should be able to get Noises back up pretty comfortably. This is completely isolated over here at Survey Camp, and yeah, they get that kill, they get the points, they're going to be comfy.
Yeah, no one there because everyone has moved in and around kind of the south side of Skyhook and the northern side of Countdown, and of course Trials where E6 currently reside. But this is where the most action's happening at the moment, is still outside No Name and up towards Fragment. 2R1C against the odds a little bit here, and I don't really like having to retreat through the tunnel, but sometimes you can only do what you're presented with a little bit. I mean, this far is so far out, it's even off of my map screen.
1500 левел, ни одного релика. Охуенно. Чем тут левел вообще? Вот когда 2500 левел получишь, тогда релик будет. Может даже раньше, на 2000.
Position that's going to be even close to looking at something. Now look at Aftermath go, by the way. Still alive, and I told you, sometimes you just
Что-то мне нравится, я поддерживаю актив. Ну, а инактив на Твиче тогда получается.
This is This is a scary situation for Passion. They have to drop off the high ground here. They're pressured a little bit. I think it's Mind who are pushing them, and Passion doing brilliant 5th at the moment, and they want to just be able to get a consistent amount of points, stay in that top 5, and really give them a solid amount of points for the week. However, there are going to be a lot of teams that are trying to take that kind of same area at the moment. Look at the amount of Watson fences that Passion have put down, though. Really taking up as much space as possible. And that's going to make it frustrating for those who are trying to push in and trying to take that space off them. Elsewhere, Alliance are going to be just a little bit southwest of where we saw Passion residing. And they'll be okay for now, but when the next circle comes in, Alliance are going to have to move. But you spoke about Krabers. Well, Yuki, the last dance, has a Kraber to work with.
Alliance also have a survey beacon they could hit as well inside of Thermal.
Сакаши, поставь 2 скобочки, как ты любишь.
Very interesting for them to see. I think that might be their plan. You see Effective standing up there at the moment. I'm not sure if they're going to think about that, actually. I'm not sure if they have someone who can hit that thing. So instead, it's going to be up to Yuki to get a pick.
Теперь понял, почему я сказал тебе восстановить 7 ТВ.
You're in a last game. You know you're stepping down. You find yourself with a Kraber. Just saying. It's just funny sometimes how these things work, right? And it's just
Это еще как вывернул, так сказать.
The farewell videos that are going to be onto YouTube. Now, Cold are starting to move on the eastern side here. It's a good chance to jump in and see what the comms are like as they take a fight against Aftermath.
They're running here. They might want to rat, but they're probably running.
I need to come loot the box. I need some
Yes, get the fucking loot, boys. Good job. Nice kills, boys. Are you MK?
Let's go. Nice fucking nemesis, bro.
You guys just shit on them. Here's a Moby. Take that, Jay.
Yeah, would it?
All right, now we just go to the house. The duo is here somewhere. We just go to the house. Here, there could be another team here. Jake, you wanna scan this?
Yep. Wait, I think I just saw someone at the top. Just be careful.
Okay.
Scanning.
We said you were hearing comms in Graceful's voice. We got to hear comms in Graceful's voice, and it's exactly as I remember it, Dan. Very positive, I will say, the communication. They get that kill, they're feeling good, and now they are moving up to try and hit some beacon because they got Bloodhound, so JMW can do this work.
Yeah, they do have the ability to do so. Yeah, I thought maybe there could have been a ring console for Alliance to work with the cat. What's happening here? It's Pathfinder. Dipping, dancing, dodging, dying.
Ворсы, здорово.
Yet. Dying.
Dying. But 40% worse
Привет,
are still just
точнее сказать, доброе утро.
It's not been the best of days for 40% worse. The zones haven't
Рабочие
really
дни.
been particularly friendly to them, and they've also been griefed a little bit on
Привет,
their
уже понедельник.
rotations.
Сегодня
Just haven't
операция
been
через
able to
9
find
часов.
their footing. Still alive for now though, so I won't put them completely out of competition. It's 2R1C try and get ahead of the zone, but it is going to be Alliance who are going to be waiting to gatekeep them ever so slightly. Whilst we see so many teams that have made their way into that next zone, but this next pull is what's going to be the big one and make the big difference. Is it going towards Skyhook, or is it going to stay down towards kind of Countdown and Trials area?
I think everyone's waiting with bated breath to see exactly where it is going to be going.
Я, кстати, вот не помню, насколько я боялся, когда я себе носовую перегородку выпрямлял.
If you're E6 right now, all smiles. You can stay up in Trials, you can play the inside if you wanted to. You're almost guaranteeing yourself a top 5 finish from this position. And when you're right at the top of the leaderboards, feeling great with loads of kills and loads of points, you just start celebrating, I think, at this point.
The downside is you could be
В отпуске еще 4 дня, поздравляю.
Looking to try and press their advantage here. They have the GG threats, and
Используй
it
их
should
по
be a
максимуму.
simple cleanup as well. Great damage coming out from the R99.
Аврора нет на турике. На турике есть много команд. Больше 20. Дальше, Вадим, думаю, дедукция тебя не подведет. Операция по пересадке волос.
LVH also taking a fight.
Oh, that spray is beautiful, but it's not going to be good enough. LVH eliminated at the hands of ALGS and Hungary. This is all happening on the eastern side of Skyhook at the moment. This is teams trying to force their way in. It looks like ALGS and Hungary would have won that fight for the eastern side, but they're going to have to work from building to building. And look at the traffic inside of Skyhook at the moment. There's about 7 or 8, 9, 10 teams even still there. Mind, they're going to be playing outside of Countdown for now. They're trying to portal out, trying to follow a path here in towards the zone, but you know that there's a team up on height. That team is going to be E6, and when the kills are coming, and it's a frag grenade perfectly placed from K-Swinny at the end of the portal that results in death boxes.
I'm trying to think of what positions are actually playable in this final circle. Outplayed are in the kind of square building in the far west of Skyhook. That will still be in the circle. Of course, E6 at Trials. The top of Trials, the bottom of Trials will still work temporarily. There's the under bridge area that you might be able to play as well, but there's just so much open space. So we're going to see a lot of fights as kind of round 4 closes. If not just round 3, when teams start to force their way in here.
Она у меня была искривлена, но и мне еще ебало разбили.
This is not going to be a permanent space. They're just renting at the moment. There is no mortgage on this building. Instead, they need to start thinking about the next bigger and better purchase.
ALGS and Hungary, they're going to have to work their way in still through all of the traffic I mentioned. 40% worth still alive, by the way. Mandy, sadly, without leg cannons on the Pathfinder, is going to be taken down. I tell you what, he survives if he does have a leg cannon.
Горло по утрам болело.
Потому
что носовая перегородка искривлена, если на бок ложишься, у тебя нос закрывается. У меня примерно та же история. Я в компьютерный клуб шел, то есть как там, грубо говоря, дома стоят. Условно. Пятиэтажки с одной стороны, с другой стороны частный сектор начинается. И вот между ними такая дорога, неосвещенная. И как раз таки там один гондон подкраулил, избил, телефон спиздил, съебался. Вот у меня перелом носа был. Выпрямили мне хреново его. То есть если присмотреться, то будет видно, что нос кривой. А носовая перегородка была искривлена до этого, и после перелома еще, наверное, еще осложнений больше стало.
I'm on a wall, ALGS. Right behind this wall. 8 seconds. Oh no, where are they?
Behind knockdown, and one guy far left.
Unfortunately for Alliance, hackers can't make it through the fire and the flames, but I will say he's still alive. He's got a craver, can't quite connect.
За девушку стенка на стенку. Ебать вы ебанутые.
Doesn't get time to reload, and unfortunately for Alliance, and of course everybody who's been supporting Yuki on his journey, that will be the end of the road for them and Yuki on this lineup. Alliance will fall as we move into our top 12.
They might be the final bullets that we see Yuki fire in Pro League, which is a sad sentence to say, but at least he hit a headshot with the Kraber before he went out. As now we look over towards qadRaT. 2 players left, but they are being potentially pushed. They can hear the commotion outside, but they are hunkered down a little bit. They have Watson fences to work with, as well as all these teams now starting to progress in the same areas on this far southeastern side. Elsewhere, over towards Trials, a lot of teams are trying to take up this space too, because as we mentioned, not much
на льду сломал 2
area,
берцовых
so you have
кости
to
2
try and
месяца
take
назад.
any cover that's available to you.
И как восстановление проходит? 2 месяца, наверное, мало, что полностью восстановиться.
Eliminated in the meantime. Full English again, just being able to retreat to this little ridge to give themselves this cover. They also have the Watson gen as well, which is going to give them a little bit more survivability. But E6 now moving out from inside of Trials. They want to get some more KP down. And
Чат инвалидов.
first knock onto 2R1C. Xhaka goes down, and Slap, who has been phenomenal today on the Bloodhound, is the player to do it.
Yeah, and E6 with the kills that they get here, almost guaranteeing that they will be the winners of this week yet again in A versus B. But can they go out on a victory? A and B proved to be very exciting last time we saw
Такой стример, такой чат, блять. Звучало как какой хозяин, такие животные.
Full health and ready to try and compete in game number 6 here.
One of the beautiful things about this season of Apex, when you're brought back into the game,
Меня девушка с больницы встречала, обняла и башкой в нос дала. Теперь он с горбинкой из-за перегородки. Это как надо было так въебать. Бьет, значит, любит кисер.
Up on the height and still doing work, still doing damage, still being a real nuisance here at the moment, and they take down one, and they actually can try and send this fight if they would like to.
Зона, конечно, full интересная в опене.
And that is qadRaT, who they may end up walking right in front of if they're not careful.
ALGS and Hungary eliminated, top 7 for them. Shiv's just been knocked as well for 40% worth, so
Прыгнул на
Cybercats are
руки.
trying to have a little bit of a better end game than they did in the previous one. Look at qadRaT.
Подожди, на руки. Она с жопой тебя нос сломал, получается. Гандона нашли, который нос сломал, да. Он еще 2 отхуярил. Одного, наверное, с ножом. Там, типа, фотки показывали, что у него куртка порезана. Он с ножом искал телефон. Видимо, чтобы время сэкономить. Ну я в максимальном ахуе, типа, зачем, блядь? Ладно, одного-то, может быть, наспор или что-то в этом духе. Ну, кстати, его нашли по моему телефону в итоге.
And again, they can find themselves in the top, what, 7 with a good victory here, so there's plenty of.
Ну он оделся, его не посадили, ему условку дали. Я правда не помню, у меня при средней тяжести здоровья или нет. Не, нихуя не закрыли, условка. Пацан максимально конченый. У него семья вроде как богатая, там девушка приодетая вместе с ним пришла. Сам по себе не, ну, внешне нормальный. Телефон вернули? Ну, вернули, но он такой был. Хуйня. Хотя, по-моему, телефон я решил не возвращать, только деньги за него запросили. Потому что он там в другом корпусе был перепрошит, переклеен, что-то. Ну, сделали так, чтобы, видимо, не узнали из мобила. Вот и котики, первое место. Нормально. А они не стримят, к сожалению.
Love to see a Wraith in a composition that's winning games, especially on the 5th anniversary here of Apex Legends. But even though they found the victory, it's still E6 who are going to be at the top of the leaderboards overall after their incredible performance throughout the entirety of this match day. But I tell you what, Cybercat's going to be delighted with that. The amount of extra points that they just picked up, being able to jump from 9th to 2nd, is unreal.
Yeah, that's how close it is, right? And that's why it's so important to just play every single game to its max. It might seem like a very simple thing to do and a simple thing to say and an obvious thing to say, but it's so easy to get down on yourselves. Look at qadRaT, right? 3 games in, some teams would have completely crumbled after putting 0 points on the board, losing contests, and then all of a sudden, 1 win, they're back into things. And then in that last game, they're into the top 3, having res. Like,
на фейсите стримят. В плане, дай ссылку. Что за фейсит?
I mean, what was the final jump you said from Cybercats there in that final game from 9th to 2nd? Wow, I mean, crazy, right?
And that, it could have been even more from the start of the game, but that was just from when they took out the remainder of E6. They jumped from 9th to 5th. And then winning the game, they jump from 5th to joint 2nd. So, like, that's a crazy jump. I mean, qadRaT also jump up to, like, top 6 from 10th position as well. So you can see the importance of just sticking through it and, like, believing in yourself that you can get back into things, as you just mentioned, because you've got to keep that mental strong. Because otherwise, you're gonna crumble and you're gonna allow other teams to take
a big smile on their faces. Very impressive in that final game, having done so much hard work to get into that position. But from there, they picked up good KP, they got a good placement as well. And I think E6 are probably the team
Тут замки стоят.
most at the moment. And EMEA is not just like a dangerous fighting team, but a team who can get points even when the
залогиниться надо, блять. Чего раньше не сказали, мы бы там смотрели тогда.
We feel like we can play aggressive. Remember what ALGS and Hungary did last time we saw ALGS happen the year prior. They were playing in a very similar manner, and E6 are doing that here. They get 11 points. For Cybercats, they put 19 on the board in the end. qadRaT second, joint with the English on 16, and then down in the bottom half, a lot of teams again who struggled a little bit, weren't able to get going. A few contests that maybe ruined that for the likes of Aftermath, the likes of LVH, but they were able to get points on Storm Point, which is going to be important for them.
Yeah, Alliance a little bit of a disappointing finish. 13 place, for them. But I think the biggest story is here. I just want to take the second to say, Yuki, we've loved having you. We hope to see you back in the future. But changes for Alliance in their lineup. I'm sure they're hoping for changes in their fortune.
Че ебанутый. Только что пароль сбросил, нахуй ты мне опять его просишь сделать.
I'm so glad that we got to witness their plays today because they were playing really well, and I was so happy to see their performance. And the last match was really interesting. It's always so funny to see how teams slow way down at the last match. And I really want to give kudos to Cybercats. If we had a category in most improved from the last few weeks, I would definitely give it to Cybercats. They were really good at rotating early. They ended up getting quite a few kills on the board, and they were able to make a pretty good comeback.
О, коты вторые по итогу. Хорош. 50 поинтов, но перегнали. Киллов меньше. Но из-за того, что у них плейс первый, походу, а у них только второй лучше. Они на второе место перекочевали. Альянсы пятые. Казах на 17-м. Да, казахи плохо дела идут. Такую же прическу сделал? Не, я полностью состригать буду, чтобы им удобнее было пересаживать волосы. Ну и в целом Сай все равно будет неплохо. С нуля отращивать и сначала короткую попробовать стрижку. Мне и короткая нравилась.
It was something we spoke about at the top of the show. Like, now is the time to maybe change things up if you feel like it hasn't really been working out for you. And I take my hat off to them for something a little bit different. It's worked out for them on World's Edge as well. The only caustic that we saw in the lobby being a factor, and it's very impressive to see teams just trying something a little bit different and making sure that they make a name for themselves in what was a very important match day for them.
Вот у котиков 3.36 это, конечно, маловато, но за сегодня молодцы. Топ-2 это круто. UM. 35. Драгон 13. Обидно, обидно. Тут 22 по итогу проходит команда. Тут много. А, нет, стоп. Это 22, это кто остается про лиги. А вот эти 8, они вылетают. По новой играть надо. Ну вот как-то так и получается. Поинты посмотрели. Глянули. Го еще раз. Чевки попробуем. И я мыться да спать. Проходят топ-8 только. А чё так мало? Потом 2 топа как-то разыгрываются.
Вот я есть, вот меня нет. Вот я есть, вот ты умираешь.
Сегодня мы познаем наш путь.
День операции была после того, как случайно получил порез на руке длиной 10 сантиметров. Повредил сухожилие. Снижение силы хвата и незначительная потеря в мелкой моторике. Хреново. Но нельзя вернуть, так сказать. Ссылку истребителя. А у меня истребитель услышишь.
Я выпускающий. К счастью, тут никто не боится высоты.
Все, у меня опять не получится.
Я не выпущу такой возможности, а вот вас очень даже выпущу. Задержите дыхание, если вам нужно дышать.
Мои трюки наготове. Наконец-то мы встретились, мой злейший враг. Два. У меня кончаются память.
Увеличенный энергетический магазин, если среди вас есть те, кто в нем нуждается. Второго уровня.
Вражеский щит разбит. Тебя развели. Перезаряжай. Похоже, это весь отряд. Их последний как-то сам собой упал.
Теперь
надо заштопать пару дырок отсюда.
Идем сюда. Щит Скотти сломан. В бою.
кольцо рядом. 10 секунд.
Перезаряжаю. Судьба настигла наших врагов. Этому отряду конец. Воины, кольцо движется. Внутри нет никого.
Нашел материалы.
Ну и куда теперь?
Нашел материалы.
Большое спасибо.
Нашел нам материалы.
Как же ты бесишь уже своей озвучкой.
У меня тут где...
Использую крюк.
Припасы отправлены.
К нам летят припасы. Мне удалось обнаружить врагов.
Причем не то, что как бы звучка противная, вот именно почему-то раздражает.
Расстояние между нами велико. Следите за картами.
Осталось всего-то 50%. Простая арифметика.
Чемпион пал. Его время пришло.
Мое спецумение готово. Круто!
Нашел нам материалы.
Спасибо. Вижу цель.
Не клетка, а где рез тогда? Ага.
А вот и я.
Я опять не сделаю киллы. Тупо не повезло с лендингом. Причем с лендингом остальных игроков.
Вражеский щит пробит.
Пал где 3 сквада. Нормально пофайтился. По итогу остальные склады в ебене.
Доверьте все отцу. Сканирую. Эта тропа приведет нас к врагу. Идем.
Видимо, с отрядом покончено. И все такое.
Хорошая работа.
Получайте дуговую звезду. Перезаряжаю. Сломал вражеский щит. Перезаряжаю.
Враги. Меня вырубили.
Даешь, разводилова.
Причем у кого-то дохуя кило больше, чем у меня уже. Заебись. Еще одного гриндера нашел в катке. Второе невезение — это еще один задрот матча, у которого, блядь, больше, чем 6 киллов уже.
Следующее кольцо далековато, а помощи ждать бесполезно. Надо шевелиться.
Внимание, доставка репликатора.
Тут репликатор падает.
Ебать шлюхи!
Ой, хорош, дружище, я тебя едва коснулся.
Еще один тай и переносим, если не получается. Заебись. По итогу это лайфай была скилл лидером. Правда, там всего лишь 6 киллов. Завтра везу жену на операцию в МСК. А у жены что? Давай, хакер, спасибо.
Не стоит сильно цепляться за то, иначе упустишь шанс на лучшее будущее. Поможем всем этим сволочам обделаться.
Я как раз волосы уложил. Даже в кольце надо выглядеть на все 100.
Перед вами чемпион. Я ничего не боюсь. Кто из вас может сказать то же самое?
Теперь зовите меня господин выпускающий и никак иначе.
Выпускающий фьюз. К вашим услугам.
На меня приземлился рядом. Мои трюки наготове. Вражеский щит разбит. Перезаряжаю. Вырубил врага. Убил врага.
Мы далеко друг от друга. Надо держаться. Стоит там осесть.
Перезаряжаю. Убил врага.
Вот это я понимаю.
Щиты заряжу и готов. Даешь развалить. Развели. Развели. Враг в нокауте.
Дополнительные припасы, если нужны.
Перезаряжаю. Пусть ребята отдохнут.
Стоит прочесать. Похоже, тут враги. Будьте начеку.
Высылаю приманку. Стоп, откуда мне знать, что я сам не приманка?
Есть новый лидер по убийствам.
Новый лидер по убийству.
Уважаемые, Кастин пошел.
Видимо, с отрядом пошел. все такое.
Дружище, ты новый лидер.
Щиты заряжу и готов.
Здесь легкие боеприпасы.
Даешь, разводила. Смотрите-ка, прибыл ящик с припасами.
Здесь есть модификация. Пробивные. Опа, тут дополнительные припасы. Здесь прицел для короткой дистанции.
Урвал немного материалов.
Здесь увеличенный легкий магазин. Второго уровня.
Уже 7 челов сдохло где-то. А где след, блять, его? Охуенная игра. Пизда, чел с ТП вылетает, ты прям за ним, и не видно, куда он полетел.
Внимание, прекращаем, погодите секунду.
Внимание, у нас есть новый лидер по убийствам.
Меня стреляют.
Есть новый лидер по убийствам. Вот это хватка.
Перезаряжаюсь.
Блядь, ну чё так не везет-то, блядь? Мне уже нахуй разъебать реально что-то отходу. Давно уже. Нахуй. Вот ебал.
Заряжаю кастетом. Вот он, старый добрый кастет. Разбил вражеский щит. Перезаряжаю.
Охуенно.
Перезаряжай.
Вот вам, старый добрый кастет.
Разворачиваю заслон.
Сломал вражеский щит. Ой, здесь вроде отрядик был. Видать, это будут последние. Щиты заряжу и готов.
Достал нам кое-какие материалы.
Я опять не килл лидер.
Перезаряжаю.
Да ёб твою мать. Или это баг просто такой?
Перезаряжаю щиты. Тебя развели.
Меня стреляют. Я в нокауте. Посмотрите на того бараш.
Заряжаю кастетом. Шрамы украшаю, дружище.
Внимание,
Укрепляю свой щит.
Тут репликатор падает.
Кассетный кастет.
Нужен заслон? Я на прицеле.
Они стреляют. Щит. Перезаряжаю щиты.
Не, реально где-то килл лидер.
Кольцо в 2 шагах.
Нужны энергетические боеприпасы.
Восстанавливаю здоровье.
Кольцо совсем рядом. 45 секунд.
Секунд до того, как пройдет кольцо. Но мы рядом.
Крыса была с киллами.
Подзаряжаю свои щиты. У нас тут потери бойца. Лечусь. Все будет огонь. Враг убит. Орел в нокауте. Здесь враг.
Начинаю отсчет кольца.
Граната, уважаемые.
Да ты шлюха ебучая, как, блядь, как, нахуй? Я даже присел, блядь, чтобы он не попал максимальный урон. Ну, о чем я говорил? Хуесос, блядь. Ебаная везучая тварь, блядь.
Здесь аккумулятор щита.
Затрешотить красный армор. Боже, ну что за день? Блядь, 3 потенциальные катки, блядь, на ачивке были. 3 нахуй.
У меня кончились легкие боеприпасы.
Ебучий цирк.
Здесь легкие боеприпасы.
Да все равно, блядь, откуда нахуй столько урона?
Нашла здесь ивощит 5-го уровня.
Пиздец, у него одно хп, блядь, осталось.
Пойдем сюда.
Хуйлан ва-банк пошел. Тоже за ачивку, да? Но он ее хуй выполнит. Ему надо всех убить. Ну, в целом, как я и говорил, блядь, не повезло нахуй, во-первых, с высадкой, во-вторых, не повезло, потому что еще один чел гриндер был.
Здесь.
На нахуй.
Послушайте, давайте пойдем сюда.
Не поделили лобби. До 90 урона. А, у него уж красный армор был, блядь. 30 хп осталось.
Тут кто-то ходит.
Стоит пойти сюда.
Пусть с этим Апексом. Надеюсь, что завтра все хорошо будет и восстанавливаться тоже буду хорошо. А тот сгорел. У него 15 киллов по итогу. Да, блять. Сука, в идеале вот на таких в самом начале падать, давать им пизды и дальше чилишь. Это слишком, так сказать, удачный расклад. Хотя, с другой стороны, они также в начало падают. Ладно, ребят. Прощаюсь с вами до послезавтра, скорее всего. Потому что завтра операция. Послезавтра процедуры. И послезавтра я домой приеду. Вот. И Апекс, наверное, вряд ли будет. Может, будем что-то смотреть, обсуждать. И вряд ли будет вебка. Ух, переживаю, конечно, но спасибо за ваши пожелания. Хорошо и так далее будет. Буду про вас вспоминать. Когда там буду на операционном столе, так сказать, находиться. Ну и ждите отчетов, приветов. Потом в телеграм-канале. В описании телега есть. Подписывайтесь. Буду рассказывать, показывать, выкладывать. Куда как. Такие дела, в общем. Ну, на связь я в любом случае завтра выйду. В телеграме что-нибудь напишу. Надо будет с собой зарядку взять. Буду стримчики какие-нибудь смотреть перед сном. Лепать.